Hey, everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Going Old School Retro Discussions. And of course, as always, I'm going to start off by thanking everybody that's here. And remember, please do me a favor and go ahead and share that link out there because YouTube hates this guinea pig and we can use all the help that we can get. But I'm going to get started like I always do, and we're going to explain why we're here. So, when you look back on these franchises, whether they are toys, games, movies, TV shows, possibly even books, maybe even music, what is it you feel in that one transfixed moment in time? Is it joy or maybe a sense of accomplishment, a heartfelt sense of belonging that you shared with family or friends? Or maybe it was motivation inspired by the wonderful tales or even those that you imagined when you used them as your escape with childlike wonder when you played, you read, you watched, or you listened to these franchises that when after years have passed, still call out to the child in you. And with reverence, you recall these moments and always remember them with immense fondness. These wonders from years past that have given hope to those who felt all hope was lost. Will you forget those times or seek to keep them alive? How's it going, everybody? And welcome to JJ.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Glad to see everybody in the chat. Tommy, thank you for having me on as always.
Oh, always a pleasure, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what we got to talk about tonight?
We got a few things. We are waiting to see who else may show up because on Retro Discussions, it's almost like Russian roulette. You just never know what's going to happen. So,
Oh yeah.
we could start off with a full panel. We could start off with a small panel, and then we will move on from there. But we are always going to have a good time regardless. So I'm going to start off by saying hi to some of the people in the chat. Random Brad Creator, Death by Saber had stopped in. TWTG Content. How's it going, my friend? Grobnob the Troll. What's up, buddy? Angela Fuoco. I hope I said that last name right. Fiocco.
Yeah, that's a personal friend of mine.
Deviant Porg. What's going on? Ancient One in the house. What is up, my friend? Parrothead. What up, dude? So good to see all of you. And like I said, please make sure you go ahead and share that out there because YouTube does not help the guinea pigs at all. So, hey, Keck44, how's it going? We get here every week and we get to talk about these franchises that we remember so much from our years past. And, I really got to thinking about the other day and I was thinking, it's not just the toys, it's not just the games, it's not just the movies or the TV shows. It's also places like I had discussed with Kitty City or Toys R Us, KB Toy Store. It's things like that from our childhood that are long gone. And it's also music as well. I mean, how many times has there always been a certain type of music that maybe you hear it and it just takes you back to that one point in your life, like when you were a kid or something?
Yeah, I'm always like that about 80s music because it takes me back to my prime of my life. So the time of my life where I had the most fun hanging out with friends, going places, doing things on the weekends. It's just 80s and early 90s music, man. It just takes me back. It makes me reminisce, makes me feel young again, and I love it.
Well, I also wind up having some like fond memories of some of the music that was even older than that my parents used to play in the car when they'd have the car radio on. Like some of those songs just kind of take me back as well.
Oh yeah. Actually, I'm guilty of it. When I sometimes I go out, just take a ride. You live here in Florida, so you know about St. Augustine, I suppose.
Yes.
I'm about 30 to 45 minutes north of it. Sometimes I just get my car and ride down A1A Beachside all the way down to St. Augustine and just let the music blare and it's a big old cross-pollination of types of music. I got some metal in there. I got some 80s music in there. I've got some country in there. It's just, I call it music therapy. And when some of those older songs come on, it just makes me just want to pull the car over and just bob my head around, act like a kid again, act like a fool. And it brings back such wonderful memories.
No,
Always.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. You know, especially on a beautiful day, man. There's this store about halfway down. I always stop there and get me a drink and a candy bar, and I stand there on the store has a deck on it, picnic tables and stuff around the front of it. And I'm gonna tell you what, man. If you ever wanted to work at a convenience store slash gas station, this is the place to do it because I'm gonna tell you what, they've got the money shot. The sand dunes are open. You see a clear shot of the ocean. I'm like, man, I would work here for free just to be able to look at that every day. It's beautiful. You know, and then just get back on the road and listen to some beautiful music.
Yeah, you know, one of the things we used to do when I was a kid. Hey, V Star 333, how you doing? The Time Prophet, what's going on? I remember me and my friends, we used to hang out in the back, and right across from us there was a bunch of other guys, and they had big giant like half pipe skateboard ramps and everything like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they, you know, sit out there. People would be playing like Suicidal Tendencies and just hanging out, and they'd be skateboarding. We'd just sit there and watch them. You know, I didn't skateboard myself really much, you know, other than riding down the street. I was more of a BMX bike guy. But
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun. Just, you know, even just hanging out, you know, even if you're not hanging out with certain people, I mean, the music itself and everything is just, you know, just chill, you know.
Yep, yep. And like I said, the young lady in the chat, Angela Fiocco, she's one of my personal friends from my past. That, you know, she could attest to some of the trouble we used to get into when we were younger. Partying, staying up all night, listening to music, you know, just man, I can't go into it much deeper than that without giving some key details away, which I rather not, because you know might incriminate my fine what's the word, not perception, but anyway, I'll think of it in a minute. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It happens.
My brain did it again. Just give me that big old heaping hot bowl of nope.
Curtis, what's going on, Curtis?
Yep, Adega Outlaw.
Adega. It's always good to see all these fine people that are showing up. Remember, please go ahead and share that link out because YouTube is not going to do it for us. Like, what were some of the early bands that, like, I mean, I know everybody has earlier bands, but like one of the first bands that had like a big influence on me was the early Metallica with Cliff Burton. There was something about the way that Cliff Burton played bass that it drew me in. I mean,
well, I say, you know, I mentioned that some of the music I listened to is metal, and I really didn't get too much into metal until like the early 2000s, because, you know, when I first heard of Metallica, that was probably when, like say Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains started, you know, making their big push, you know, say like on MTV. Couldn't care for it. I didn't like it. But then all of a sudden I was listening to it one day and I'm like, man, this jams. Wow, this rocks, man. It does a lot of stuff. And the Time Prophet, yeah. Black Sabbath was one of my earlier bands, and AC/DC. See, I never was really a Sabbath fan or an AC/DC fan, but through the years, I've learned to appreciate it. And sadly enough, now that's our oldies.
Why am I not surprised that Parrothead has Jimmy Buffet? I like to say Jimmy Buffet. Angela Straven, welcome.
Yo,
hey, Draven, what's going on, man?
Not much. Just chilling.
Cliff 'em all. Yes, absolutely. I love Cliff Burton, man. That guy. He's the one that actually inspired me to pick up a bass guitar and start playing. Serious.
Nice.
Between him and like some of the tunes that I heard from Bob Marley and the Wailers. Yeah, I'm a huge reggae fan as well. Go figure that one out. But yeah, I
Well,
mean,
yeah. I've always liked Marley, especially when after a good brain fry, of course. I've even been known to listen to some jazz while frying my brain, man. Just like
Judas
contemporary jazz. Just
Yeah,
it's
Judas Priest.
it's yeah, that's some ancient stuff. My music more or less started around, say, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, um, Ozzy. I didn't like Sabbath, but I liked Ozzy.
Lenny Kravitz. Yeah, you know what's funny about that one, Deviant Pork? I like a few of Lenny Kravitz's songs. My wife, on the other hand, she hates his guts. She
Really?
can't stand it. Yeah, when I break out my bass and I start playing, you gotta fly away, and I start playing, she's like, "Will you stop playing that?" The only thing that drives her more insane is if I start playing the Final Countdown. She actually loses her shit if I play that.
Really?
Yeah.
She don't like Europe either?
No, she hates them, and I do it just to be a pain in the ass. Well, I mean, I guess anybody that knows me probably realizes that's what I would do.
Dude, I would jam out to some Europe. That was actually the first cassette I bought with my own money. I was down in Orlando when I was a kid, and we went to a store, and I went looking at some music. I'm like, oh, cool, Europe, Final Countdown. I played the shit out of that tape.
Really, that's kind of cool. Joe Elliott. Yeah, he was the drummer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had one arm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, V-Star is the woman to talk to about some music. She's got some interesting stories. Really. Some really good, interesting stories.
Parrothead. Now, that's actually kind of funny. Now, if you talk about the picture that I have up here, my icon is actually my older guinea pig that died quite a few years ago. He actually did have a favorite song, and it was a song that I created for him on my bass. Yeah, Guinea Pig had his own song.
That's
and
awesome.
Every time I played it for him, he would pop up and he would look and he would get excited.
Awesome.
Wow.
Very nice.
And then when he died, I actually created an outro song for him too. So he had an intro and an outro.
Very nice.
Kind of like early Mankind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Time Prophet. I forgot. Yeah, Joe Elliott is the lead for Def Leppard.
Spore King, what's going on, bud?
Hey, man.
Scotty, what's going on? Great to see you, man. But yeah, it's I love music, all types.
Yeah.
I like to say all eras, but anywhere from the 70s on up. Because I was born in the early 70s, so anything before that don't really catch my ear too often. But of course, Skinner, Boston, Bad Company,
Love Bad Company,
Foreigner, stuff like that. I love a lot of that too. But yeah, 80s music is my big thing, whether it be 80s rock, 80s pop, 80s rap. It's just a time of my life.
Full of like good stuff, like all around.
Oh yeah.
Like new wave and all that stuff. Like it's just so good.
Right there before the dawn of the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I listen to pretty much anything except country. I'm not a big country fan.
Well, I even listen to a little country, but even then it's the mid to late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Early 90s when Garth was real big, okay. Alan Jackson. To me that's good music. But this shit today, man, it ain't country. It's southern rock. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They think they stumbled on something new, but it's southern rock, man.
Yeah. The lines are too blurred, like between the genres.
Yeah.
I think the old stuff. I like the old stuff better. When it was actually more of a story. It was more of storytelling. I like that. I mean, I don't know. I never really consider that really country though. Whenever I think of country, I think of like, I lost my car. On the mother effing road. That's what I think of.
Yeah, you rewind it and you get everything back.
Yeah, that used to be a joke I used to tell
Yeah.
people because the things with hard rock or heavy metal at the time, like play it backwards, you get a message from the devil. I was like, well, you know what happens when you play a country record backwards, right? You get your house back, get your car back, get your wife back.
Look at Curtis. Curtis, like with the sensitive side right there.
Oh yeah.
The
I just
ballad.
died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a wonderful song.
Great song.
Hey, Generation Productions, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining.
Oh,
me.
Generations, what's going on, buddy? Mikel Jolin.
Yeah, Thomas Connolly. Oh, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Thomas Connolly? I know he said he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to stop by tonight. I'm so glad you were able to make it.
Oh. Well, thanks. I know I've been like teetering, losing like one and then gaining one, and then I'll lose one and then gain one. It's like really weird. You know, YouTube being YouTube.
So that's your subject for this evening, Tommy, is music?
No, that was actually just my starter, believe it or not. I actually I've got a full subject. I just thought that would be a really good lead-in because it's a topic that we really haven't discussed. In the month that we've been doing this, we haven't really talked about music. And I mean, that is just a big of a part of our childhoods as a lot of these toys and books and movies and TV shows and all the other stuff.
True.
We are talking about whatever comes to mind, Generation Productions. we are just reminiscing, and we were talking about the good old days.
Well, that's all right, Scott. I was a kid in the 80s too, but hey.
Yes, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson.
Okay, I like Johnny Cash, but that's like the like, he like kind of folded in between country and rock, so it was like, Yeah.
Oh, Darth Hastur is here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
What's up?
What's going on, my friend?
I like Ghost. Ghost is good.
Ghost.
Yeah, that's what Square Hammer is.
Ah, okay. I was thinking about the movie. I'm like, Ghost, really?
No, there's a group called Ghost. They're kind of like gothic metal.
Yeah, something I ain't heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Not all 80s music was cheesy. Not all of it.
No.
But there was enough cheese. There was enough for everybody.
Yeah, especially, in the early days, you had Magic Mike, Two Live Crew. I think that's when, NWA.
Yeah.
I loved NWA. Just all different styles. Rick Astley, of course. And then, Queensryche. Just all different types of stuff. Stevie B.
I love some disco. Yeah. Bee Gees, man. Can't go wrong with the Bee Gees.
Hell no.
Exactly.
Scorpions, Metallica.
Yeah. Broke bad with some Bee Gees, man. That's impressive. What?
ELS.
Four Little Diamonds. The only thing I can think of is ELO.
Take care, Scotty. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man.
DC.
Oh, Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Since we were on the subject of music, I love the movie and TV show themes like they were made as a jingle to sell toys or movies, but they were awesome. Yes, absolutely. You know what? And quite honestly, I mean, you think about like one of my favorite franchises, and man, I could never get tired of talking about the Transformers. But when you think of the Transformers, what's the first thing you think about? You think about that theme, that music. Transformers. More than
More
meets
than
the eye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm that way with
That and
the G.I. Joe theme.
G.I. Joe, yes.
Thundercats is like that too. Like that intro is just like, oh, it's so good.
Oh,
Like, they had
speaking
that
of
like
Thundercats.
80s rock intros that were just so good.
Speaking of Thundercats, I went into Hulu yesterday. They've got the original Thundercats, both seasons of the
nice.
show on there.
Nice. I'll have to
I'm
check
like,
that out.
damn, I got something else to watch. Sweet.
At first, I thought you were gonna say it was that terrible Thundercats roar show that was on there, and I was like, oh, God.
Well, I think they've got that on there too, but they've got the original on there.
That's good.
Love You is God, Keck 44. What's going on? Now, you know what? And one of the other types of music that came out in the it was like mid to late 80s is when they started coming out with the punk rock, when it started coming from overseas. Man, I'll tell you what, there was something unique about that because they took some of that old school rock music, but they gave it a harder edge because a lot of it was really simple chords for a lot of the early punk bands. And they screamed their lyrics. They just didn't care. It was like very guttural. It was very street sounding, much the way early like hip hop and rap was. It was very street.
Yeah.
Now, I thought that was like amazing. I mean, like bands like The Exploited, and then like later on, like bands that upped the game a little bit when you had like the Dead Kennedys. I mean, that was amazing stuff. More hugs.
Hey.
Happy Dinosaur. Hey, buddy. I hope you were doing better.
And then, like in the '90s, like I listened to like Rob Zombie. Trying to think what else. Some Limp Bizkit, like Break Stuff. That was my theme song for high school. Trying to think some other things. Corn.
Yep.
Disturbed, yeah. POD. System. All that stuff.
Oh God, who
Actually
did
got to see POD and System in concert, and that was awesome.
What band was it that did Raven's old music when he was in ECW? Come out and play.
Misfits.
No, it wasn't the Misfits.
It wasn't, because didn't they do like a?
No, there was a band that redid Come Out and Play. Was that wasn't Green Day? Was it, or was it Green Day? Come out and play. Do 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 do. I bet you somebody in the chat knows it. Fanzine, hey, all good, buddy. It's not a problem.
I look it up and it gives me That's So Raven. It's like, what the hell?
Offspring. There it is.
Offspring, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gave me three options: Billie Eilish, whatever. I know that's not it. And you have Offspring, and then someone called the Miz. But it said, "Come out and play." I came to play. Excuse me.
So I remember the Misfits showing up at some point and teaming up with him. So that's why I thought Misfits.
Oh yeah. When he was in WCW, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the Offspring. I mean, the fact that ECW got away with using so many different songs, like they used to Enter Sandman from Metallica for the Sandman when he came out. You know, they got away with that for so many years.
Yeah. Well, that was back before the whole like Napster thing. So people are like, you know what I mean? Copyright stuff wasn't really like, it was a thing, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Well,
I think part of it was probably because they were so much smaller and they didn't really have say like the WWF at the time's reach with national TV. So, you know, it was a little bit easier to get away with when you're playing small venues.
Yeah.
Now,
especially if you don't have many eyes on you.
I bought a CD. It's been a long time ago. I know, late 90s.
Time Prophet. Take care. Good night.
Take care.
Have a good night, Prophet. It's called Forcible Entry. It was WWE, I think, when they changed it.
Okay.
No, WWF. I'm sorry. It was right before they changed it. Called Forcible Entry. It was like a metal CD of entrance music.
Oh, wow. I think I still have my CD of Federation music when I used to backyard wrestle.
Yeah, Soundgarden. You know, it's funny. I was just playing some Soundgarden earlier on my bass.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was you were strumming on when I came in.
Yeah, it was Soundgarden. Oh, you taking off, Jolyn?
Yeah, somewhere.
Tool. Yeah.
I never got into Tool.
Man, me neither, but there's a couple, you know, just like everybody, there's a couple, you know, like Slipknot.
Mm-hmm.
I
love Slipknot back in the day.
Yeah, Soul Assassin. You know what's funny about that one? There's a cartoon called Foamy the Squirrel, and he does an amazing mock of Lars Ulrich and James Hetfield. If you have never seen Foamy the Squirrel, you got to check them out. They actually have a YouTube channel up where they have a lot of the Foamy the Squirrel episodes on it.
Mm-hmm. Ill Will Press is who does that.
Ill Will Press. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to it right now. I watch a lot of it.
But yeah, here's my the Federation Inc. season 2 entrance music from when I used to backyard wrestle.
Oh nice. Wow,
McKinney, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Korn. Yeah, I seen a lot of those bands. Korn. Oh God, I'm trying to think of all the bands like Disturbed, Drowning Pool. I seen Limp Bizkit, Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie. I seen Pantera. I seen Slayer. Nice. You know, I seen the original lineup with Ozzy and his Black Sabbath crew. I seen all those at a multiple Ozfest, man, including like the Deftones and like, I mean, there was just so many bands. It's just hard to really stop and think about all of them. Megadeth. I mean, so many different bands at those shows. That is amazing. It was amazing.
JJ, what did you say that CD was that was wrestling?
It was called Forcible Entry. Yes.
I still have that one too. Oh God, I have that somewhere.
To me, it's got the epic Triple H music to it.
Yeah, it's got Drowning Pool, Kid Rock, Creed, Disturbed, Limp Bizkit, Our Lady Peace, Rob Zombie, Breaking Point, Manson.
Yes, it does.
The Union Underground, Silver Dust, Saliva, Monster Magnet, Stereo Mud, Neurotica, yeah. Dope, Cypress Hill.
Yeah, most of that music on that CD is absolute gold. I love it. Oh
yeah. I even have the anthology too.
Nice.
That has like all the old stuff and some new stuff.
Nice. You know, some of those older albums that they had when they were WWF were incredibly funny because they had some of the wrestlers singing their stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was absolutely hilarious, some of the things that they would be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they actually had the Honky Tonk Man singing the Honky Tonk Man song, nice.
Yeah. I miss like old wrestling.
Where I live at here in Florida, we have two great bands that I think that came from here. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, that's Lynyrd Skynyrd and Limp Bizkit.
Okay. I never got to see them live.
Limp Bizkit has been here a couple times and put on free concerts.
Oh wow!
Because they're from here and they come back when they came to concert. It's like, okay, all right, we're going to do it for our fans. This is where we come from.
I do hear Alter Bridge is a lot better. I remember when Sam Goody went out of business. Like all the CDs that were left, like towards the end of like their going out of business sale, was just Scott Stapp's solo album. Nobody wanted that shit. It was so bad.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not. I don't mind Creed. I actually like Creed, and I like Alter Bridge too.
I don't think I really listened to Alter Bridge. I liked Creed when they were around, but then when he decided that he was gonna leave, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I like them both, man. Trust me, I fried my brain and listened to My Own Prison over and over again, more times than I can count.
Yeah.
Awesome CD.
Oh, Twisted Sister! I love Twisted Sister.
Oh yeah, Quiet Riot.
You know, some of them early videos that they started doing on MTV that actually made some of those bands. I mean, if it wasn't for MTV, would some of those bands have really been as popular as they were?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I mean, there were certain bands like I remember. I really liked this one band, this metal band called Testament, and if it wasn't for MTV, I don't think I would have ever known about that band at all.
Yeah,
because it wasn't something that was ever really played on the radio anywhere.
Yeah,
fucking Dire Straits, man.
Yeah.
I want my MTV. You know, it's oh man, MTV was a shit back then because I started watching MTV about 2 months after it went on the air, and I watched it for years, man. I devoted many days. Like, remember when we all used to sit at the radio with cassettes in there waiting for our favorite songs to play?
Oh yeah, and then tape them off the radio. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same shit with videos in a VCR.
Nice.
I've still got one tape left somewhere that's got it's like my mixed VCR tape of MTV music videos. All kinds of shit. Quiet Riot, Michael Jackson, Twisted Sister, Don Henley, all kinds of stuff, man. Peter Cetera, man. Chicago, all kinds of stuff, man. I loved it all back then. Danzig, yeah, Dokken.
Every time I see Comics Connection on camera, I think of Danzig. He looks just like him, I think.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So what's on your brain, Tommy?
No. I really wanted to go over some of like the music stuff because I mean it was just something that I really thought about for a while. I'm like why didn't we include it to begin with? I mean, quite honestly.
Well, there's been a couple times that I've been on here that I wanted to go into the music, but damn, I listen to so much. It's like it's hard to pick out just a few and talk about them and the great music. It's just, man, I want to remember them all. I want to name them all, but I know we're not going to be here 5 or 6 hours. You know, it's
that's a long road to go down.
Yeah. Too many to name. There we go.
Like some Prince. Prince is really good.
Hell yeah, man. He is one of the most epic guitarists I've ever heard. Yeah. You know, next to Eddie Van Halen.
Psychedelic Furs. Oh yeah.
Steve Vai. Yngwie Malmsteen. Oh man, all great guitarists. You know, a lot of people don't like what we call him around here, the Swedish meatball. That's Malmsteen. Man, he's a great guitarist and he's classically trained.
Okay.
He plays classical music and he tries to incorporate it into his guitar playing.
Awesome.
And it's oh man, it's epic. It is so epic.
Yeah, I remember when you first started seeing a lot of these bands start using a lot of the synth equipment in the early '80s too, and it created that whole different sound. There was just something unique about it. I mean, it was different. I mean, it was weird and it was like exciting all at the same time because it just added a whole completely different element to the way that people would be able to play music and what they could come up with. Because now you weren't confined to just the traditional instruments, you know?
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true.
Oh yeah. And like some newer stuff is like they like pull like sound from like some of the 80s. So like certain songs, like I know like The Weeknd, they used some of their songs, like they have that 80s vibe and it's just like, yeah, like
you know Aerosmith. Awesome music. And I already mentioned Alice in Chains. Anybody remember this band named Autograph?
I don't think.
They did a song called "Turn Up the Radio."
Oh yeah.
It's Beastie Boys,
Hmm.
Belle Biv DeVoe, Black Eyed Peas was newer, but Bobby Brown, Bon Jovi,
Anthrax.
yeah, Anthrax,
Kicks.
yeah, Kicks, yep,
Rat. You had Rat. Quiet Riot.
Oh God, they just had that recently on some commercial. Like it was like maybe about 3 months ago at the most.
I got a rap problem.
Yeah. Round and round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually is a bit of a testament when you think about it, though, because even on commercials to this day, they're still using music and soundtracks from back in the 80s. I mean, what does that say about the music that came out back then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Duran,
Depeche Mode.
Depeche Mode, yes.
Yeah.
The Eagles. Just man, it's just I can go on all night just talking about older music.
I've been listening to like
Pointer Sisters. Yeah.
I have the YouTube music that I usually listen to in the car, and I was looking up the Monster Squad soundtrack, so I listened to one of those, and then it just went into some random stuff. So it's been playing like stuff from the Ghostbusters, like 2 soundtrack.
Oh wow!
And like Fright Night, like some of the songs from that. It's awesome.
Golden Earring. And if you don't know who Golden Earring is, they did a nice little number called Twilight Zone.
Okay, yeah.
And I run so far away.
Flock of seagulls, man.
Huey Lewis and the News.
Yep.
Oh God, what was that other one? You're addicted to love.
Oh, that was
Palmer.
Robert Palmer. Yeah.
Robert Palmer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Radar Love.
And the Adam Man.
Adam Ant, Jay Giles band. It's just lots of music. Journey.
The Cars.
Kenny Loggins.
Yep.
Clash.
I'm just going. Yeah, Guns N' Roses. I'm just going down my list of
Listen to Kenny Loggins too, I think.
Music here, yeah. Lionel Richie. Loverboy.
Listen to I'm Free from the Footloose soundtrack, because that came up too after I listened to that song.
Damn good song.
Yeah,
Damn good song. MC Hammer.
Oh yeah.
Men at Work.
Yeah. Duran Duran, The Cure.
Mm.
All right, how about one of the bands that did a lot of movie soundtracks? Usually they were for comedy movies, but Oingo Boingo.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Night Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
Nirvana.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned Nirvana earlier.
Yes.
That was Mr. Miles, I believe.
Pantera. Pearl Jam, of course. Pet Shop Boys. Phil Collins. Genesis.
Oh, I love Pet Shop Boys. I like driving down the road, listening to that stuff, like blaring it.
Yep. The Who and Pete Townsend.
Pet Shop Boys. Was that West End Girls?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's the one I always remember. West End Girls.
That's the one that I always blare in the car.
Nobody said Michael Jackson yet? I know. That's a travesty.
Richard Marx.
The Eurythmics.
Rick Springfield. Of course, Rob Zombie.
Social Distortion.
Another talented man, Seal.
Oh yeah.
Man, just
I really like Mushroom Head's cover of Crazy, that by Seal.
yeah.
Wham.
Oh yeah, I love Wham.
Wham.
Brett Michael.
Yep.
No, George Michael.
Or George Michael, yeah.
Michael's,
George
and,
Michael.
I forget the other guy's name.
Brett Michael is Poison.
Right.
Yeah.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I listened to a little bit of everything.
The Underground.
Yeah.
And Humpty Hump.
They were in that what was it? That movie with Demi Moore and Chevy Chase. What was it called? Big Trouble or whatever?
Billy Vanilli.
Oh.
Not Big Trouble.
Um.
Nothing But Trouble.
Okay, because when you say Big Trouble, I'm thinking of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the first thing popped in my head.
I think it was Nothing But Trouble.
The Spin Doctors. And
No, Backstreet Boys.
oh, come
Hey, I
on,
like
man!
That sounds like the group. That sounds like the group that is doing the theme track for Walton's Enema movie. No,
I'm
not
sorry,
today.
but I like them.
Come on, Tommy, what you got against the Backstreet Boys,
Yeah,
man?
man.
Come on, how about some NSYNC?
Or In Sync, man.
Can't do it.
Oh yeah.
The
I used to
Pretenders.
listen to like all that pop stuff like before I like got introduced to like Limp Bizkit and all that stuff, and then like
Yes,
there
you go.
the older stuff. After
Tom
that.
Petty.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Tom Petty, ZZ Top. Oh,
Yeah, Nothing But
CNC
Trouble.
Music
Has Dan
Factory.
Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, and Demi Moore in it.
There you go. Sex Pistols. God Save the Queen.
nice.
But the Humpty Hump group was in that movie. They performed.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I used to go down. They had a local record store, and basically what you would do is you would just go in there and you would pick up your albums. I mean, you could buy brand new or you could buy the used stuff that he had there on the rack, and that was a difference of like over $10 most of the time, because I think most of the albums at the time were going for about $12 to $14 brand new, and if you got a used one, you would only spend $5 most of the time.
Yeah, we had a place like that here in town a lot of years ago. It was called CD Warehouse. And you went in and you could buy it brand new, or you can trade in your stuff and swap out, and kind of like a GameStop for movies, but they were more reasonable on their prices. I mean, excuse me, for music. But I say a GameStop for movies. GameStop once had stores called Movie Stop.
Okay.
Which was the same way, but except with movies instead of games. I loved going there too, because you got trade-in value on stuff you didn't watch no more. But you also, you buy stuff new, you can buy stuff used. It was a great little industry until they started closing them down. The CD Warehouse closed down, and me and my roommate, the guy I live with now, man, when they closed CD Warehouse down, we felt like someone just ripped our heart out. Because we got a lot of music from that place. And also another chain store, Turtles. If anybody remembers Turtles music. Man, I wasted a lot of money in Turtles music also. Dude, like I said, Tommy, we can sit here and talk about movies all night, because we're almost an hour in.
I know. I mean, it's one of those topics that I'm pretty sure almost everybody has got some kind of opinion on, and we're going to see a lot of varied opinions. And while I may not always agree with them, I don't really care if you say them. But I'm sorry, I can't get on board with that either.
Nickelback is terrible.
Britney Spears, come on, man.
I like Nickelback's
Girl.
first CD, but then you listen to the second one, and it's the same thing. It is literally the same. It might as well be the same album.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw that out there, man. I listened to all three of them. There's songs on different albums that I love. I'm a song person, not an entire CD person, because I've spent I've wasted countless dollars on buying whole CDs, and the whole CD, there's like 3 good songs on it.
Yeah.
You know, hey Slasher, good to see you, man.
Yeah, so he says, no George Thorogood? Nah, George Thorogood was good too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, here's the problem when you're trying to mention all these different bands. I mean, you could sit there and you could spend forever. And yeah, you know, I liked Eminem too. I didn't have a problem with him. Joan Jett, I like Joan Jett too. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, man, hell yeah. I love rock and roll. Yeah, yeah.
Some Blondie.
Blondie, yeah. Pat Benatar. Great women artists.
We can talk about it, just not listen to them. Yes. yes. I actually did have a subscription to them at one point. And you know, they get you at the end. They get you at the end when you got to purchase like, what is it, like five like regular price albums. That's when they get you, because you get them cheap at first. But the trick to making the most money out of that is when you're paying for your 5 that you have to purchase, make sure you snag up all the like damn near next to free stuff that they were offering as well, because they still offered a lot of stuff on the cheap. So you just kept snagging up all the stuff on the cheap while you're snagging up the 5 that you had to pay for.
I dated a couple girls that used Columbia House, and when I'd go and hang out with them at their place, and they got these cardboard boxes full of cassettes. I'm like, did you rip off a music store?
Oh, didn't they have a movie end too, like for Columbia House?
If they did, I didn't. If they did, I didn't. I've never heard of it.
I believe in you, Happy Dinosaur, and I think we'll be okay. Chomp, chomp, my friend. Yeah. And,
they did have a movie club.
Ancient One, if you would be so kind, would you put Happy Dinosaur's link in the chat? As well as Curtis, man, I know you got a wrench. Make sure you drop your own in the chat, buddy.
Yeah, we're making you work.
Show the love.
Yeah, we're making you work for your own shit tonight.
And drop Slashers in there as well.
Yeah, promote your shit.
McKinney, make sure you get your stuff in there too, man. McKinney does some amazing artwork. Africa by Body. Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean the music one is just something that we can actually start working back in, you know? Like maybe we can I tell you this, I will at some point actually do a long discussion about Cliff Burton, because you know what's coming up soon, right?
Isn't it his birthday?
No, the anniversary of his death. September 27th.
Oh, dude, that's the day before my birthday. Wow.
And yeah, I mean, his style of play like seriously influenced me.
Well, from what I heard, it was damn good. But like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Metallica in the beginning, but along the way, I learned to appreciate it more. And yeah, Burton is very good.
You know, it's one thing is pretty amazing. I mean, I don't want to touch on it too much because I'm going to wind up talking about it, you know, later on. But his father apparently was such a huge supporter of not only his son, but the other bands, that he still to this day will go out and watch some of those same bands like Metallica and some of the other bands that Cliff was like friends with. His father still goes out and supports those bands by going to watch their shows.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's called devotion right there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get in, and I actually have a particular topic that I wanted to talk about. So the one that I want to talk about today is something that I've been meaning to get to for quite some time. It's a toy franchise, and it is Masters of the Universe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, who doesn't remember this franchise? Now, you know, this is the one thing that most people always get wrong. Now, although most people remember this line as He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, you know, because of that tie-in cartoon that was used to promote it, the toy line actually just started off with this auspicious name of the Masters of the Universe. It was created by Mattel in 1981, and it was based, believe it or not, I don't know if you guys knew this one, but it was based off that look of the old Marvel comic, Conan the Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's where they got the original concept for it. It was kind of neat. And one thing that they actually did change, it's still at the time, it was still all about, like, you know, generating that 3 3/4 inch figures that Star Wars had made popular. So these were like the first toys to bring back that 5.5 inch tall figure.
Yeah, because they were rather.
I mean, the one thing that made these different, obviously. Yeah. I mean, that was the thing that made them a little bit different, is that the over accentuated muscular figures that, you know, bodies types that all these figures had. I mean, did you guys have a bunch of these?
To be honest,
Believe it or not, I watched a lot of the cartoon, but I only had one figure, and that was Ram Man.
Okay, I had him.
Or I guess
I had the bee.
I guess that was his name. I'm not quite sure.
I'm pretty sure I had Man at Arms.
Yeah, Ram Man is a little guy right in the center, almost in the center there.
Yeah. Hey, memes, what's going on, man?
Pretty sure I had the Cyclops dude. I had the suction cup dude.
Yeah, I didn't have. I like I said, I only had one. I had Ram Man. That was it. My big thing was Star Wars and G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm. And then the one where there was a He-Man and a Skeletor that had the thing on their chest that you could, like, smash, basically, and it would rotate through.
Oh, wow. Echo Base Network. What's going on? I ain't seen you in a minute.
Some of the new ones that they got.
Oh, wow.
What's going on, Echo Base? What's going on, the memes? But I mean, one of the things that was actually real cool about this is
really nice.
when they got this toy franchise going, it pretty much, you know, it became an overnight sensation, really. I mean, this toy line made Mattel so much damn money that they were swimming in it because they made so much with it. But the funny thing is not only was the rise spectacular and quick, but the fall of this franchise was spectacular as well.
Well, for toy lines in the day back then, it happened to all of them eventually. But then with most toy lines, they eventually make their return. Sometimes better, sometimes not so better. Because through the years, and Tommy, I know you can attest to this one, Transformers are rather cheaply made and designed nowadays compared to what they used to be. You know, because now it's all plastic. Some of them Transformers back then had metal in them. They were intricate, but not too intricate.
Yeah.
You know, but everything will make a comeback again and again and again, as long as people want to promote the franchises.
Some of the newer Transformers are like a bitch to transform. Like, I remember back in the day, like,
well, that's the thing.
Some of them, and they were like super easy. Now they're like so intricate, and like you got to be careful. Well, they don't break because you can, like, you know, pop the stuff back in, but you're kind of afraid to break them. You know. I
tell you another franchise, because I don't know what came first, the toys or the cartoon, but it was called Centurions.
That was actually a toy first, and then they created a cartoon and a comic.
Yeah,
I was talking to Tommy about that on one of my streams the one day.
Generations. They actually just kicked a few different names around, and yeah, it was just like one of those. They couldn't figure out what to say, so they just threw two words together, and that's how they came up with He-Man. It was thrown together because they weren't sure what they were going to call him at first. And there's actually a whole story about how they came up with the idea of Skeletor. The guy that created him remembered from his childhood that he went into a haunted house thing, and a skeleton had dropped down from the ceiling, but it turns out it wasn't a fake skeleton. It was a real skeleton of somebody that was killed and stuffed inside this haunted house.
Oh, wow.
And he said that's what it was like the face where you could see the skull, but it had like the skin around it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he actually got the idea of Skeletor.
Oh. I remember the movie with Dolph Lundgren. That was awesome as a kid.
Yeah. When I saw it when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, what the hell is this? This ain't He-Man. This ain't what I freaking watched on TV. What is this? But I watched it about 6-7 months ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I actually like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of them things, man. Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yep.
Kind of like Ice Pirates.
Yes,
I've seen that.
Yes. Optic Racer 21, yes, they are doing reissues. They're doing retro reissues because that's all the rage right now. Is because they're finally listening to all the original fans, people like us that say, we love what they were back then, even if they weren't the best in articulation, maybe not even sometimes in the way of looks, but we like the way that they were. And a lot of these companies are starting to finally listen. And they're starting to reissue the original figures. They did it on the 35th anniversary of the Transformers, where they reissued some of the G1 figures. Nice. Unfortunately, it always seems to be Walmart. And you know what? I freaking hate Walmart. I hate Walmart with a passion. I can't stand that place.
I miss having like a toy store to go to, because when Toys R Us was there, at least with the Power Ranger stuff, you could only get it there. And then now that it's no more, it's such a pain in the ass just to get stuff. And I hate having to order things online because you get the box and it's all buggered up and stuff. And then you have to potentially send it back. And I don't want to do that because it takes too much effort, I guess you could say, to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'd rather see it in my hand and then be able to check the box and make sure everything's good on it. And then
Hail Death by Saber.
Go from there.
Yeah, before my divorce a couple years ago, I was getting really big into the Star Wars Black Series figures, and I was ordering the shit ton of them. But I also found myself spending a lot of time at GameStop because they sold them, and I'd much rather buy them there. They might have been a couple dollars more, but you can see the package, you can see if it's damaged or not, or or see what the figure looks like in person. Yeah. I've always liked in-person shopping over internet shopping, but we can't deny it. Internet shopping is a lot more convenient.
Oh yeah. For me, it depends on what it is. Certain things I don't care, and then other things it's I kind of have to be able to see it to know what I'm getting.
Just like my movies, I'd much rather go to Walmart, Target, Best Buy, wherever.
Yeah.
And because what I do something that I don't ever see anybody do. When I pick it up before I buy it or walk off with it, I'll take the package and I'll go. If I hear something moving inside, the shit's broke. Your discs are bouncing around inside. Because if you order it, and it's what the case is going to be.
Pirates of Dark Water was good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, who didn't watch it? Was really good about that show, and I think they missed that in a lot of the more modern takes of all these different cartoons. Is that at the end of each one of those shows, whether it was G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, a lot of them had some kind of message at the end of the show that they were trying to impart young kids with. A message on how to be a better person.
Well, and that didn't even come to the end of the G.I. Joe shows. Those basically those PSAs didn't go out there until say maybe midway second season of it. Because there was already a couple great story arcs throughout the series, and then finally when they started doing the little one-offs, that's when the PSAs were starting to become put at the end of and knowing is half the battle. I only know that for the simple fact that
weren't they pushing to have cartoons have some message or educate kids instead of just being to just watch and zone out.
Yeah, because the only reason why I know that is because right now as we speak that Hasbro has their own channel here on YouTube, and they've got a continuous 24-hour live stream. It's been going on for months. And now it's recycled because they'll go through so many and then they'll play them over. But there are quite a few classic G.I. Joe shows on there. And I've caught myself eating dinner many a night sitting there watching G.I. Joe. I love it. And also in a couple months, they're coming out with a game called G.I. Joe Operation Blackout or something like that. And it looks kind of like a Borderlands 3-ish animation style, kind of. But it's got all the classic G.I. Joe characters in it. And I can't wait to check that out. I'm a gamer also. Yeah, it's just they're trying to bring stuff back. Yeah. Ensign Ricky, what's going on?
I do gaming streams or gaming thing every week with culture in them, and I didn't even know this existed.
What?
This G.I. Joe game.
Oh yeah, I just found out about it. They got a trailer of it. Yeah, they got a trailer of it up now.
Yeah. You know what, Optic Racer? I mean, that's the one thing about the retro re-releases. It's if you don't snag them as soon as you see them, they disappear off the shelves because people are snagging these things up and then they're going on eBay and Amazon and all these other places. They're jacking the prices up maybe 2 or 3 times and then selling them. I had that same problem when I tried to get some of the G1 Transformer reissues, like the Bumblebee and everything, because they had the cartoon face of Bumblebee on the reissue that they did, and I so wanted to get that because it looked like the cartoon, which I thought was cool.
Yeah,
but I could not find it anywhere.
And Bumblebee ain't crap.
Yeah, the tiny little figure.
Yeah, the original Bumblebee, he wasn't crap, dude. And you had it, And what he cost?
Well,
no more than $5.
Oh, back then he was only $4. It was like $3.99 for those figures back then when they first came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the legacy Power Ranger stuff. Like you see some of it. Wrong side. I always do that. This stuff here, like that's the legacy Tiger Zord, Dragon Zord, and the normal Mighty Morphin. Those are like a bitch to find now because some of them are out of print. And then I still need Titanus, but for me, it came out at like 100, I want to say, maybe 150. Now you're lucky you can get it for like 400. Like,
see, and that's my big thing because I was a big Lego guy. And so those Lego sets, man, you might as well just go out and take a second mortgage on the house or something.
Oh yeah.
$300-400 for a ship. I'm like, you're out of
like a couple years ago, like I wanted to get back into Legos, and I was like at Toys R Us before they went out of business and looking at the prices, and I'm like, dude, this is way too much for Lego. Because they had like the Doctor Who TARDIS like Lego, and I was like, oh, dude, that would be awesome. But they went like, $50-$60 for that thing. It's like, wow, I can't justify spending that on a Lego piece.
I did that, man. I got a TIE bomber, a TIE interceptor, a B-wing, the Slave One. All of those was $60 or above.
Yeah, I can't. Do
I spent an ass load of money on some Legos.
Mr. Miles, do I hate, love, or just ignore Beast Wars? I know Transformers fans are generally split on that. I was not a fan. I was not a fan. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay, and I thought it was good for what it was. But I was not a huge fan of it. My Transformers were always the G1 ones, so I didn't disavow it, but I wouldn't say it was like tremendously great either. But I mean, it was what it was. Yeah. It was another addition to it. It was a lot better than some of the later ones that came out, like the Cybertron series. And
now, one thing that's unanimous, at least with Beast Wars fans, is that Beast Machines was garbage. Like the sequel to Beast Wars.
Oh, that was
terrible. It was so bad. Like it had such good potential, and they just screwed it up.
Death by Saber. Yeah, I did that. I had maces, both of Luke's, Kylo Ren's, Darth Vader's. You know, the Force Effects lightsabers.
I tell you what, I never bought any of the Force Effects ones myself because I always heard that they really weren't good for dueling, and that's what I wanted to do.
No, they're not meant for dueling. If you want a dueling saber,
just display pieces, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. They light up, make sounds, but they encourage you not to fight with them. Which the first one I ever got was Mace Windu's, and a friend of mine had Vader's. He came and visited me, and he brought a saber, and we was out in the backyard. You know, not really knocking the shit out of him, but you know, we were making contact, and after we were done, I was cleaning my saber up and about to put it back in the box, and I looked, and the actual tube of the blade, so there was some cracked places on it. I was like, all right, don't do that again. But yeah, if you want a dueling saber, man, it's like Saber Forge, Ultra Sabers, places like that. You can design your own hilt, get any color blade you want, but you're gonna pay for it.
Well, you know what? Some of them are actually fairly cheap because I get mine from oh god, from not Saber Forge,
Ultra Saber.
Yeah, Ultra Sabers. Thank you. I get mine from Ultra Sabers, and you can get stunt sabers. Now, the stunt sabers are not going to have any of the sound; they're just going to have a light up blade, and that's what you want to duel with anyway. You don't really need all the sound effects if you're dueling, and you can get them as cheap as about $50 with the blade. So,
and also Ultra Sabers, if you catch them at the right time, they got awesome grab bag deals too.
Oh yeah, yeah. They always have like special deals and like discounts and everything. So.
Yeah, here's some of the legacy stuff from Power Rangers, the Legacy Saba.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Brows and stuff. Does the whole sword action.
Wow, that's cool. I've never watched Power Rangers. It never interests me, but that looks cool as shit.
Yeah. He's supposed to talk to. I'm trying to remember how to do it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Dang, no.
Yeah, and then this is all like die cast. This part here, and then this stuff here. Yeah, it's all die cast. Same with the Zords. They have like die cast pieces on them too. And then
that's cool.
Yeah, they re-released a bunch of this stuff. And then here's the Dragon Dagger.
That looks cool as shit.
Yeah. There's all the sounds and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that this has like all die cast in here, and all the gold is like gold plated and die cast and all that.
Death by Saber 10 lightsabers. Yeah, I think my last count, I think I was like 6 or something. I just don't have the money to buy anymore. It's not easy being broke. Oh, super chat. Colossal size bag of premium carrots and premium lettuce for Tommy the guinea pig. His wife and the guinea pig pup said they can week out of complete happiness. Well, I thank you, ancient one. Thank you, my friend. But yeah,
you heard that. That was my phone. I got every time someone messages me on Facebook, it sounds like a Jawa. Meow meow Moira. Jedi Bill, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, Jedi Bill. But I mean, you know, one of the things that like He-Man did is actually it created a toy line that, you know, where you could go simpler because they did not have like the joint movement at all. I mean, what did they have? They had the hips that were like extremely posable.
Yeah, I think they you move them at the arm like that.
But they took that same format that Lucas had taken and Kenner had taken earlier with the Star Wars figures, where they said, hey, we can just do all these extra accessories and vehicles and all this other stuff that we could just keep adding on to this line. And I think that's how they were able to keep the line alive and so successful for so long, is because they did that. I mean, do you remember like they had weapons packs and everything for the He-Man figures?
I don't remember weapons packs.
Yeah, they sold these little packs where they did the same thing for Star Wars, where it was like extra guns, or there was a special Star Wars pack where it actually had the face breather mask that Han and Leia and Chewie were using inside that worm.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And they had extra guns and everything. It came with that same pack. Yeah, I mean, they sold stuff like that, and they did the same thing with He-Man, where you can get extra swords and shields and all this other kind of attachments.
I remember them doing it with Turtles, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Turtles?
Yes.
Yep, they did. They also put out a weapon pack for G.I. Joe also.
So I had like tons of Ninja Turtles. Like,
doing
I remember one year for Christmas, like all under the tree. That's all it was, Ninja Turtles. Like, I had like the sumo wrestler dude, bunch of guys from that. Because he came with little sticker tattoos that you could put on the sumo wrestler dude.
Yeah. The memes of destruction in a sense, yes, in a way.
Yeah.
But the Barbie marketing is what most people claim killed He-Man. Because She-Ra in the Princess of Power was basically Barbie marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just re-releases, man, because when I got back into my thing, and this is when I first started collecting, it was in the mid to late 90s. I think when the Star Wars Power of the Force figure set came out, they were making everybody muscle bound. Luke didn't have all them muscles, y'all.
Nope.
And he come out looking like a little mini He-Man.
I remember the Han Solo one. He looked like he had a little pinhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were pretty bad. They were pretty bad. But you know what? They were actually filling a hole that was left open for quite a long time with no new figures or anything really that was out on the market. So,
yeah. I remember ring pops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They had like the thing that goes. It's like a ring, and then it has the saucer. After I was done with that, I would use that as like shields for my He-Man.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because they had the big kind of fat arms, so like it fit it perfectly from their arm as a shield.
Wow, that's cool. I would have never thought of that.
I used to do all kinds of crazy stuff. Or use other things. Like I used to run zip lines in my room, and have my G.I. Joes run down them and all that stuff.
I used to have my mom get me a bunch of like handkerchiefs and stuff, and I'd make parachutes.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. It would take me like hours to like set stuff up, and like my room would be a mess before everything gets set up, and my parents would like get on me. It's like I'm setting things up, and then it'll be fine. But
yeah, if that was me, Death by Saber, yeah.
I'd have been minus one little brother.
There would have been some pain. There would have been some definite pain involved.
Dang.
I don't know. And quite honestly, I don't care. There's nothing about that Batman trailer that screamed anything to me, and I could care less about it.
Well, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Pattinson ain't doing nothing but trading one bat for another, and he looks like a gothed out Bruce Wayne, and I'm not liking that. He's a sparkly Bruce. There we go.
I don't know. I think it looks interesting. Does it look like something I've seen before? Yes. But yeah. Other than that, I'll probably give it a chance, but we'll see.
I don't know. I said this before on the stream the other night with Sporking News Podcast, and yeah, you know what? There was nothing I really found interesting about any of the DC stuff other than Black Adam. That was the only thing I found interesting, quite honestly. Yeah. I was not interested in the Justice League. I was never interested in the first Justice League.
Yeah.
This Batman with Pattinson, I could care less. I got all the younger Batman that I ever wanted to not see in the Gotham series, and I'm done with it. I don't need any more of it. So
yeah, I need to finish Gotham. I never finished like the last season of that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Death by Saber? I bet. I had most of my original Transformers stolen from me like close to, God, what is that? Almost 20 years ago or better?
Damn.
It's got to be at least 20-something years ago that all my original Transformers are stolen. Minus one. And I am still not over that. I am still bitter and I'm still irritated about that to this day. And it wasn't just Transformers. There was comic books. There was horror figures from the McFarlane series, including that Jaws with the orca boat. Yeah. Oh, still bitter about it.
I when I started collecting again, or when I started collecting back in the late 90s, my first ex-wife decided to keep that whole first part of that collection. Tried to sell it on eBay. And then my second collection, well, it's in good hands right now, but I've spent through the years close to $10,000 on just figures and bullshit. I call it bullshit, but I don't mean it, but
yeah,
once you love something, you're going to put money into it.
Yeah. I have a bunch of like the Transformer movie Transformers when they released those. I have like a ton of those down in a Tupperware, or not a Tupperware, but you know what I mean, like a box. And I just don't have anywhere to put them.
Totes.
Yeah, totes. That's it. Yeah, I don't have anywhere to put the shit, which sucks. So
yeah, Curtis, I hear you on that one. It definitely did.
Yeah, I did get to meet Ben McKenzie, the guy who played Gordon. Got to meet him. He was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? Death by Saber. I remember those big ass Voltron, the big diecast ones. They were like each line was close to like 10 inches long. I want to say somewhere around there. And that Voltron that they formed was huge.
Yeah, they weren't small by any means. Maybe even a little bit bigger than that. But they were nice looking toys.
Yeah, they were amazing. I always wanted to get them, but my father was buying me the micro change line of toys that are. There was an indoor flea market called US 1. It actually wound up in a Kevin Smith movie at one point. And
wow.
Yeah, we used to go there all the time, and they had the guys that came over from Japan, and they brought the toy lines from Japan to the States, which they really can't get away with now. Yeah, they really can't, because there's all kinds of fees and all this other thing you got to do to bring them in. But yeah, they were bringing the micro change lines over from Japan, and they were just selling them right there.
That's awesome.
And you could buy like the micro change tapes, like $3 a piece or 2 for $5. You could buy the original Soundwave, which was called Cassette Man, for like $12.
Oh wow!
I mean, the stuff was cheap, and they had all the Voltron lions, and then they had like other toys that you really didn't see, like special like Godzilla toys that they only sold over in Japan that you didn't see in the States, like the Mach 5 racer car, like a diecast versions of that. Like they had all this cool stuff from Japan. I mean, it was great, man. It was great. And I remembered, and I always wanted that Voltron, and I was so pissed that I could never get it.
Yeah, that's like the Sentai stuff for me, like, and Kamen Rider. Like, that stuff's such a pain in the ass to get over here. Like, unless you go to, like, a convention and they have it already. But you're spending, like, double, triple the price that you would if you went to Japan and actually picked it up. Which sucks, but...
Yeah, Miles, I hear you on that. I lost so much stuff that if I was to do a full inventory and a breakdown of how much money I lost on all the things that they stole, I'd probably be even more pissed off than I already am. I just don't want to think about it.
Yep.
My cousin always break my stuff, so...
Yeah, you know what? I mean, the toys back then, though, they were like, a lot of them were actually hard to break. A lot of them. I mean, there was always exceptions to the rules, but
like I had the Godzilla, like it was like a remote control thing, but it had a cord to the control, like one of those.
Yeah.
And they like grabbed the Godzilla and like pulled, and it broke the control thing. And that was like maybe minutes after I got it. Like, I was like, God. And then the one Ninja Turtle, I think it was, I want to say it was Donatello or one of those, but they had like the little sub thing in front of them, and then like their back legs would like go like this. If you wound them up, they broke
the wacky swimmers or something.
Yeah. They wound him up too much and ended up breaking him.
Man.
Yeah, why have something really cool when you can have clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And food and gas and other things.
Oh, that's terrible. Real Godzilla has no cords.
Yeah.
But what else do you guys remember from your childhood that like just take you back?
Definitely G.I. Joes. I played with those a lot. Ninja Turtles, the Power Rangers stuff in the 90s, and Beast Wars. I had a lot of those. Oh, and then the Mighty Max, which was basically Polly Pockets for dudes. But I had a whole bunch of those, and then Ninja Turtles also did like a version of those where it was like the snapping turtle that was like Toka. Or Razor, I forget which one. But you would pop it open and it would be like the Technodrome inside, and then I would set that up, and then they even had like 4 little play sets that were like a street and then like a sort of like a boardwalk. So you had like the storefront, and then there was a street on it, and you got a couple little cars and little Ninja Turtles with it. And I would set all that stuff up, and then set up the Mighty Max. They were like from another dimension, because that's what Mighty Max was all about. Jump in different dimensions. And then I had the Micro Machines van that unfolded and was like the cityscape thing. So I would add that to it. Yeah, I would add that to it, and then act out all this stuff that was going on in it. It was awesome.
Death by Saber said he also had an SDF-1 from Robotech. But his mom gave it away to his nephew.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
A lot of my stuff my parents sold because I wasn't playing with it. You know, like when you're younger, you're like your parents are like, "Oh, we got to make room for the new stuff," so they like snatch up all the things you're not playing with and just either pitch it or sell it to somebody else or put it out for yard sale or whatever.
So your mom was the one that actually carried the pitchfork when it came to toy stores. Went out at night with the pitchfork and the torches, tried to burn down the local Toys R Us.
Oh, wow.
No more toys!
Mm-hmm.
Man, I forgot how many midnights I went to a Toys R Us to get a new set of figures that were coming out.
Nice. That's why, like you were saying with like them re-releasing stuff, that's why I like that they're re-releasing a lot of these lines, because then I can rebuy my childhood.
Yeah. But at the same time, you can look at it and tell, well, that's not quite my childhood, but it's a great resemblance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, some like this stuff, like some of this is like a vast improvement over the childhood version. So,
oh yeah, because just going back to the lightsabers real quick, you know, you go buy a Force Effects lightsaber, the shit lights up, it makes noise. If you tap on the blade, it makes the contact noise.
Oh yeah.
My first lightsaber was nothing but a long yellow plastic tube and a big ass hilt, and all you had to do was swing it, and it was like woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, it had holes in it, like a wiffle ball.
Yep, I had one of those.
Yeah. You know, toys have come a long way, but it still lacks that, what I call that personal touch of our childhood, because they did a re-release of some classic original trilogy figures, and I think they went through the entire trilogy, but they started off with Star Wars. You know what the figures looked like back then: of Han, Leia, Chewie, Obi-Wan, Vader. You know, I'm like, yeah, and even the slide out sabers of their hands, and
Is that old lightsaber didn't light up, did it?
No, it was just a big old long plastic tube.
Yeah, because I had one of those, and it's the tube, and then at the top there was like the 3 like holes or whatever.
Yep.
Big enough that you could put because one Halloween they were handing out those glow stick things like that you crack.
Yeah.
And I put one of those on top of it, and I was using that to like get the light from it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Miles, going to Toys R Us. I was actually talking about that last week when I was talking about Kitty City. And Kitty City was almost the same type of toy store that Toys R Us was. But, Toys R Us became a bigger chain, and they actually pretty much killed Kitty City. But
and its partner, Lionel Playworld.
Yeah, Playworld and their warehouse too, the Lionel warehouse.
Because not a block and a half from where I live now used to be the Toys R Us / Lionel Playworld, and
KB Toys was great because it had like all the obscure stuff that Toys R Us didn't have.
Well, they had a lot of. Well, we were talking about this, and they had a lot of the stuff that Toys R Us and Kitty City and some of the other stores couldn't sell anymore.
Yeah,
and they would get them on discount. So,
Spawn, that's where you had to like go to get Spawn stuff, like KB Toys.
Yeah. And you know what? Being an adult, I've embarrassed myself so many times walking into a Toys R Us. Walk around looking and just go,
I have no shame.
Oh my God, wow. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm 40-something years old and I'm walking around looking at toys. People looking at me weird.
Got to look at all that love for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad when I was with my ex, she had a 4-year-old and a younger one. I'm glad I got to take them to Toys R Us before they closed up and see their reaction with all that stuff. It was priceless. But yeah,
did they act a lot the same way? Like just overwhelmed,
just that awe and overwhelmingness of
being a kid, man. You walk into a toy store. Being a kid, you could never possibly imagine the amount of toys this place has. You walk in and like, oh my God, it ain't nothing but toys. Oh wow, look around. Oh, daddy, mommy. Well, it's like, it's.
Well, the one by me had like this. You'd go in and then you'd have to go loop around and go through. So like half the time they'd have stuff set up like right at the start, and like it would take us like 30 minutes to an hour just to get through that part. Because the kids are like they're like, yeah.
Hey, Parrothead, yeah. When I say Kitty City, it sounds like Kitty City. Is Moira there?
No. Oh, damn.
Well, she's the only kitty I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You talking like that? I'm leaving right now because that's
Claws
one
out.
cat.
Claws out.
That's one cat. I don't want to get. I don't want to make mad.
Meow. She knows I'm only playing. I hope. Microverse Mini 1996 Batman playset for travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when all the micro machines and all that.
Godzilla even had one too, because I remember having that as well.
That you have what? Progeria, and you're actually a 10-year-old kid. No. I'm not a 10-year-old. I'm still 16 years old, even though my body says otherwise. No, I'm at least going to be a teenager. I'm going to drive.
Hey, ain't no shame in that.
You know what? Hey, Death by Saber. You think it's any different for me? I'm like 6'1", 200 some odd plus pounds with all kinds of tattoos and everything, walking around in a toy aisle looking at toys. You think I care? Somebody looks at me, I'll give him the stink eye because I don't even care.
I'm one of those people that when Toys R Us was open, I'd get the toy and I play with some of the toys, like the ones that make the noise and stuff. Me and my buddies would like mess around and play with the stuff.
You know what the best is the ones that have the sound effects when you push their belly or something like that, and then you just sit there and you hit every last one of them. Yep. Yeah, usually that's when my wife sees that stuff, she walks away from me because she knows what I'm about to do.
Yep.
Well, I'm that way with I'm like that with almost any toy that has the little hole in it that says "Try me." I'm gonna make some noise in that toy department.
Yeah, it's not our fault. We're men. We just like to finger things.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, my thing back in the day was the Han Solo pistol and the Stormtrooper blaster.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, welcome to Chris Knight Real Review 3000.
I don't know where my blaster is. Speaking of the blaster, I have my blaster around here somewhere. Yeah. I've cleaned since then.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to keep this place organized.
Organized chaos just turned into chaos. That's it.
Oh, this right here, like there's a table and it is just full of shit.
Yeah, no, I try to keep my stuff down, but it doesn't always work that well.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't be a Toys R Us.
Toys R Us is back. Payless Cashways is coming, or not Payless Cashways, but Payless Shoes is coming back. Well, Toys R Us is, I think it's still in Canada. Maybe I should say
It
that.
just has select locations. One in Jersey, I think, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, things kind of go round and round at times. So,
Oh, that's interesting. Had a friend go to a Toys R Us in the early 90s, and they had found a lost box of 1983 Kenner speeder bikes that they put back out on the shelves and sold for the normal price from 1983.
I think by law they have to, because they didn't spend any more money on them.
Right, because it's still in stock. Because it's still in stock, that they have to sell it for the price that it was actually originally to be put on the shelves for. Yep.
What the hell?
It happens.
What kind of backstock they got in the storeroom, man?
Hey,
well, I don't
places
Kmart.
These places get these shipments, and it isn't until they're shut down or they close that store, and then they dig through everything. I mean, remember, when you see a store closing sign, people might not know this. You have like the lighting fixtures, the display fixtures. And if they can even do it, once the whole place is all but sold out, they'll close the bathrooms and sell the toilets out of there to another company. I mean, they'll sell every last thing they can if they own the building. Now, if it's a rented building, if they put anything like any decor or anything of their own on there, they'll sell that. They'll sell it down to the studs if they can, because they're trying to make every penny back that they have lost or that they've put into that store.
Yeah, if it's not nailed down, it's going.
Yeah. Pretty much. And you're talking about the 83 Kenner bikes. A lot of people don't know this. If you see something displayed, if they don't have it in stock, you can ask for that display, and you can also ask for it at a lesser price because it's been used.
Yep.
And that is consumer law 101. That anytime that they put a product out there, and it's even doubly so for the ones that get advertised. And that used to be called the bait and switch. That was like, oh, well, we don't have this one in stock, but we'll say this one. And they're always going to show you one that's more expensive.
Yeah.
And I've gotten tons of stuff from my friends who didn't think about that. And then they get it at a discount. Oh my God, it was like brand new out of the box, and nobody touched it. Nobody did anything. I said, yeah, but still, it's a display.
Yeah.
You can't prove that nobody messed with this. You can't prove that it's going to break in 5 minutes. They have to give it to you. What's going on, Generation? How you doing?
That's one thing I miss about working at Kmart is so I used to work in the back. Unloading the trucks and stuff is getting like first dibs on everything.
Yeah, I see. I worked. I did layaway. I did everything at Kmart. John Stackhouse and I worked at Kmart together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we have great stories.
Yeah, Kmart brothers.
Yeah. Hold up. Wait, this way. Ready? Here we go. Ooh, oh, yeah. No, I have this one story where Roger was his name. I think Roger would come up to me and go like, yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to do a few things tonight. And then he'd start listing them off. And I mean, like, he'd give me like 60,000 things. And one time I looked at it and says, Roger, I said, write it down.
Yeah.
I said, if you want me to do these things, write it down.
Mm-hmm.
I was,
you know what? One of the things I liked about Kmart back in the day, they were one of the few places that actually had slush puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was around Christmas time or something. I don't know. I was returning this doll, this little doll, and a belt.
Mm-hmm.
And a bungee cord. I was returning it was a bungee cord, and I was just bored out of my mind that day, and I wrapped the bungee cord around the doll's neck, and I was sitting there going through the aisle, swinging it around. I guess somebody saw it, and they pulled me aside. Yeah, you can't do that. And I looked at him and says, "What? It's not a real kid."
I preferred Hills, but when that was around, I don't know if you remember Hills. They had the old Knight Rider coin operated car thing. I love that thing as a kid.
Yeah. I did 1 hour photo. I did customer service. That they had me trained in the freaking grill, hardware, paint mixing, layaway, electronics.
Never did layaway. I did electronics. I did hunting. Sporting goods, doing the hunting licenses and all that stuff. Yeah.
Did either one of you guys ever have to sit back by the changing booths?
I had to do that. I was trained on everything. And the funny thing is, I spent 90% of my time. I spent 90% of my time at 1 hour photo. And one time I found out from a couple of the people that were actually hired to work in 1 hour photo. They made I don't know. I'll just say $10 an hour. I don't remember what it was back then, but I mean, this is back when it was like $6.25 was the.
Oh yeah, I started at 6 when I was 16, and by the time I was done there after 10 years, I only made like $9.
Yeah, but they were making $3 more than me, and so I go to the manager there, and I said, "Why am I not getting paid this?" Well, you're not technically 1 hour photo. And I says, "Fine, then take the 90% of the time that I'm there and put me someplace else." They didn't give me a raise. So.
I used to work garden shop too all the time. I hated it back then.
Yeah, we didn't.
Trying to get a break was like.
No, we had gardens. Yeah, we had to do that.
You got a break.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I don't mind retail, but I'll tell you what, retail really makes you realize how shitty Christmas is. Oh, you know what? You will see the absolute worst of people.
The worst was in the 80s, especially when Cabbage Patch came out, and Cabbage Patch was such a huge success. Like all the people that were going crazy, they were like trampling each other. I mean, if you want to get an idea of what like people were like back then, just look at people now. Black Friday. Look at the lunacy that goes on during Black Friday.
I think people have they've gotten smart. They make lines. They put things in different areas. Like they'll put really popular stuff in the food area and close off the whole food area and let you go there. And they'll give out numbers. They'll do. I think they've learned how to kind of control some of the chaos once you're inside. Now, when they're outside, they're still freaking it's like the running of the bulls. It's like what the hell's going on?
Like I went to Target last year and. Like their big ticket items, they did like the raffle, like first come first serve. They hand out tickets for those people, and then on your way they had stuff at different locations throughout the store than they normally would be. That way there isn't like congestion in those areas. That way things run smoother than normal.
Yeah.
Sam Goodies. Oh yeah, I remember them too.
See, I worked for Sam Goody. Actually, not Sam Goody. I worked for Music Land. Which our Music Land was, so there's Sam Goody at most places, and here in Kansas City we had Music Land and we had Sam Goody, which was basically the same damn thing. It's just it was owned by the same company. It just, Music Land was strictly anything music. Sam Goody had a little bit of movies and then a lot of music. And then Suncoast was the movie division of the same place. And I was an assistant manager at one that, I don't know, 16. I got lucky to get in the door, but I used to go in there. They'd let me go through their catalog because when I started DJing when I was 14. So that was like one of my go-to spots. I would go in there and I'd be like, okay, this came out this year. I knew how to look through everything. And one time the manager's looking at me and she's like, do you want to work here? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, nothing better than getting a discount on something that I need anyways. I'm like, great. And so about 3 weeks went by and she's like, my God, you know this place better than I do. And I said, I've been coming here for a long time. And they put me up to assistant manager. I worked there for a couple of years. I got plenty of discounts on, I swear I got a lot of my movies and stuff like that. I mean, so
I want to ask you guys this one. Death by Saber says, I bought a 22 rifle camping survival rifle that you can take it apart and store it in the stock of the rifle at Kmart back in the days. Now, I remember back in the day when you also had Woolworths that was still around.
My dad used
they
to
would sell, they used to sell all kinds of rifles. They used to sell some like the old carbines, like the same ones that Oswald used. They used to sell all those right there. Like you walk right in, you would have the rifles right there, and you maybe walk 2 aisles over, and then all the toys would be sitting there. Like
I still know where there's an independent Western auto store in a small town outside of Kansas City here, and it still sells Red Flyer stuff. It still sells some food stuff like Western Auto used to. Just it was like a general store more than anything, and it's an independent store. And it's like a trip. I used to work. If you guys ever have a chance, look up a place called A&N Hardware in North Kansas City, Missouri. And I used to work there. And it's like the building was built in like the late 40s, early 50s, but it has wood floors that so much product has been on it that if you look at it from the side of the store to the side of the store, it's like this. The floors are wavy because of how much weight's been on it, but it's still perfectly fine. And it creaks everywhere. I mean, well, here, hold on. I'll look it up really quick here, and I want to show you pictures of this place. And most of the pictures I took, but hold on.
Yo, Chris is proud of this shit, y'all.
Dude, no, I mean, this is a place that people in town here are like, they have everything, and because they do. Okay. Let's see here.
I'm gonna say hi to Cred Sox 5.
Yeah.
Hey guys, remember if you can help us out, go ahead and share that link out. Let people know that we're still going. Because YouTube hates the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess this is another A&N. That's not it. Here, we're going to look at this. This is the hardware store right here. And I was an assistant manager of this place for years. But it's just an old. Oh, that's not it. That's T-Rex. I don't know why is T-Rex on this? It's like, what the hell? What type of Twilight Zone shit did I get into? Hold on, let me get back to the.
Chris, we're trying to run a boomer-free stream here.
Shut up!
Wow.
Oh man. Oh, I see why. Because it popped up in a different thing. Oh, I was just looking here. See, I guess they don't have a ton of pictures anymore. But I mean, this thing, they used to have all the neon working. I told them, I said, you need to put some money in the neon, and they looked at me and said, "Well, what's the point of that?" I said, because this gets people just to drive by at night and see the place. And then it makes people go like, yeah, I wonder what's in there. And it's all about, I mean, what do I know, right? I understand there's money involved and all that, but screw money.
You got to put in some money to make money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And in those places, nostalgia is what really gets people.
I mean that's the thing you could always go back to. I mean, like, you know, when I talk about like places like Woolworths, and then there was another store that used to be right in the same shopping center that we used to go into, because that was back in the days when the strip malls were still a thing before the big shopping malls were really, popular.
Yeah.
They had a CJ Murphy's right across from Woolworths. So, I mean, those are the two stores we used to frequent a lot in our little strip mall that we used to go to. Man, that's where I got my first Transformers, my first GoBots. They used to, like the old places back then, they used to have a diner counter. You used to be able to sit in there while you were shopping and get something to eat. Then, of course, they had the bathrooms, and you had to put a dime in the lock to get into the bathroom.
Damn. That sounds very familiar, except we had a store called Pick and Save. And it was a lot like that. That's where I got a lot of my toys from when I was younger. They had a restaurant in there. It was like, it's like, Mom, it's like going to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Mom, can we go to Pick and Save? Can we go to Pick and Save? Come on, Mom, can we go to Pick and Save?
Did anybody ever have Venture?
Venture.
Okay. Well, Venture was like Kmart, but back when Venture was out, it was like, if you took it by like what was better than the other, Kmart used to be top of the line. And then it was Walmart, and then it was Venture. Venture was like what Kmart became. And now you got like Target's like that high-end discount store. And then then you got Walmart now, and then you still have a few Kmarts, and then Sears thought that it was a smart idea to merge with Kmart or whatever they did.
So stupid.
And they had the like Kmart, or the Sears that looked like a Kmart. You know, they rebranded it for a while there. I can't remember what they rebranded. I was like, oh god, this is horrible.
The Sears Holding is what.
Well,
they basically.
the last time I walked into a Kmart and I saw Craftsman tools, I thought, what the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But see, Sears Sears even the last like 3 or 4 years wasn't exclusive to Craftsman anymore.
Yeah.
See, I remember the day when every Craftsman tool, including their power tools, was made in America.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And now I don't even know if the tools themselves, if they're like the pliers and stuff, if they're made in America. I think all of their like screwdrivers are still made in America.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing how much of that has changed. I mean, we went from the 80s, early 80s, where, you know, if it wasn't electronics, it was made here. Your clothing was, and then, you know, I mean, and I'm not going to get political about this, but say what you will, there's something to be said, and I think we're finding out currently with the current times and all that, how unprepared we are for things like this, because nothing's made here anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, not to get political, but these were our policies. These were our politicians that did this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say it was Democrats or Republicans, because it was both of them. They both agreed to it. And now here we are. We're having to talk to China to get a piece to make something that we need to make here. And it takes us 4 to 5 weeks. And they're literally strangling us because we have to wait.
So Credsock says, did anyone have a Bradley's, a Zares, and an Ames? We had Bradley's and we had Ames. We didn't have a Zares.
I think
we had Zares, and Zares was my favorite sale paper to look at on Sundays.
I think Ames took the place of Hills where I was.
Anybody remember the Sears Wish book?
Well, it's Sears catalog.
Yes.
Every company, Dillard's, J.C. Penney's, the Jones store, Macy's,
Boscov's.
Sears. Yeah. They all had that little area that you went to, or like at the customer service desk, that was also the catalog desk, and you just sit there and like kids. I mean, of course, what would we do? We went right past the part that, you know, as a young child, well, you know, and then as a young child, that's when the bras and stuff started showing up, unless they were the grandma ones, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't want that. But the ones that had a little bit of lace, was like, ooh. Yeah.
No, what I'm talking about is of course the book that Sears put out around the holidays.
Yes.
And the bulk of that book was a toy catalog.
Oh God, yes. That's what I'm talking about. You'd rip the thing open to that damn thing. In fact, you know, a few times my mom would be like, hey, I want to look at that. Here you go. This is the part I don't give a crap about.
So Death by Saber said that anybody remembers Zodi's store. That doesn't even sound familiar to me.
I don't know.
Nah, me neither.
Yeah.
Okay, so Echo Base Network says, spoke to an ex-executive of Sears, and she told me how the guy at the top ran the company into the ground and got as much money as he could along the way. Yep. I mean, that's not really surprising to me.
No, that's Donald Trump 101. And I will never fault the guy. The guy's a smart businessman. He walks out and he makes his money, and what's left in the back is fire and ashes. It's fine. I mean, that's business. That's not just him. That is 101 business. That if you see things falling apart, start pulling your money out, start selling your stocks, and start driving the company down so you can walk away pretty much free.
Okay, Zodi was in California. That's why I wouldn't know it. That's why I wouldn't know. Here, Miles, you know, he says, you know, we need Sears again. Well, why did they go under? You know why they went under?
Well, besides mismanagement.
Well, yeah. because of what happened between them and Kmart, and Kmart was already in decline at that point anyway.
They tried to save Kmart, and they tried to rebrand too many stores and thought that it would be a good idea, and they weren't that strong at the time either. They just thought it would be.
And they lost their licensing with games and their electronics. That was like the death rattle right there.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. So much of the world is it's just.
I thought for sure that Macy's was going to be done, and then they got bailed out.
Oh, of course,
one of our top competitors.
You know, Macy's would have gotten bailed out. That was a definite.
Well, they never did they never bailed out, Montgomery Ward, which was just as old, and
Monkey,
Sears didn't get that.
Hell yeah, Monkey Ward. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody's like these days are like, oh, the malls are dying and stuff. I don't know. We were talking on the radio the other day. I was talking to a local show here about Amazon buying space in these places. And I said, why doesn't Amazon just buy a whole freaking mall and say to these companies that are left in there, how about this? We're going to pay you to hold stock and hold like a quarter of your store as an Amazon section. And anything that somebody orders in the area that's close to you, like within 10, 15, 20, 30 miles, whatever, we're going to have an Amazon worker there. They can pull something right off the shelf from our area that we basically have bought this stock from you. This is our stock. But if somebody walks in the store, they can buy it, but we get a portion of that. And then you guys will take all returns for Amazon and everything. And by doing so, you can kind of say, okay, well, we're going to help the retail market, but we're also going to exploit it for us too. We're going to use it. But then if that drives traffic into the mall again, then, see the first mall.
It would be a win-win for everybody.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, well, that's a lot of logistics. I'm like, yeah, logistics, that's fine. But Amazon would figure that out. And it makes sense because you got a lot of these companies that basically would be bailing. Amazon would bail them out. Right now, Amazon's strong enough to do that. And I'm not saying buy the huge malls, but if you needed to, tear them down and rebuild, but make them smaller where somebody can walk in and I can go into, my whoever can go into Forever 21 or you can go into whatever.
Right now, I believe as it stands, Amazon is almost big enough to take over Walmart.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, but I think that would be something that Amazon has shown the want to partner with places like Kohl's and things like that. And I think that's what they're going to go to is it like Walmart has the, ordering online. And if it's in stock, they pull it and you can pick it up. Well, what if they did the same thing with Amazon at a Walmart? You say, listen, they have the stock there. What we did is we're going to give them a portion of the sale. And we're both winning because they get to sell some of it. Because no matter what you think, if you're paying $100 for something in Walmart, they only paid 20 to 30 max.
Well, considering how big Amazon is in the stock that they actually keep, they could actually own a whole damn mall and just say, each store carries the Amazon logo and each store can be an individual entity, selling for Amazon. And it could be a bookstore devoted to all like Amazon books and everything that they have and a music store and so on and so on. They could easily do that.
That's kind of what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about these companies that are starting to go for bankruptcy again and things like again, Forever 21 just did it. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Let's say if Barnes and Noble did, they could bring these companies and say, "Listen, we're going to give you this spot, and you're going to own 75% of this, and that anything that's sold in that 75% of the store is yours. But what we're going to do is we're going to help drive traffic to your way. If somebody lives 15 miles away, they can buy it online at Amazon prices, but they can come into your store, and we'll put it all the way in the back, the quarter of the store we want, all the way in the back." And they have to go back there and talk to the person at the counter, and then the person at the counter grabs it and gives it to you. And you walk out the store because you bought it already. You didn't pay the thing. Right. The problem you're going to get in there is much like they're running with right now is the sales taxes and different things like that because it all falls under different lines. But these are things we can figure out. But by doing so, what you're doing is Amazon's going to say is, listen, we're still going to give people that convenience, but what we're going to do is we're going to help them because by them coming in, if they decide to do that, by them coming in, how many times have you gone into the grocery store and you go and you want just let's say you want a thing of tea. Well, the thing of tea is all the way in the back. You got to walk past the ice cream. You got to walk past the cookies. You got to walk past that the hamburger, or walk past the person that's making the hamburgers to do the sample, and you smell the smells. You do all that. By the time you walk out, you're not just leaving with tea. If you do, you're a strong person. And yes, I've done it before, but it takes a lot mentally. And
that's
I'm not
why
saying anybody's stupid.
And all that stuff right at the counter.
Yeah,
it's designed that way. And Amazon could design a mall that other companies are allowed to use space in that mall, but Amazon's guaranteed a portion of that mall, and they can put their thing all the way in back, and people are going to walk in. guy, well, think about this. Okay, you're leaving work. You're like, oh, damn it, I forgot milk. Okay, I'm going to go to the Amazon store. I buy milk. Okay, now I go to Whole Foods, which, yes, they own. But I go to Whole Foods. But let's say now, in order to pick up my stuff, if I have to go all the way then back, now I'm buying more crap. I mean, and I understand right now we're doing the, curbside stuff that doesn't really work right now. But I think there's a way that you could test it in a pilot thing and then tweak it to something that really would work well. But
go ahead, Tommy.
I want to add something to this. So Curtis was saying, I could see that, Chris, but I don't know, maybe it costs too much. Now, here's the thing. Technically, Amazon wouldn't even need to take over the whole mall. If they partner in with all the independent store companies that are out there already and just say, hey, you're still going to run your store. It's going to be your store and you do what you want, but you're going to carry our logo and you're going to carry our product. So basically what Amazon would be doing is, instead of having multiple warehouses where they've got to keep all their stuff at all times to deliver, they can give it to these independent stores to be able to hold it for them, and they will work almost like on consignment for Amazon.
And that's where I'm going with it. And you know what? You got the large cornerstone stores that are out of business. Don't put their name on it. That's where you store all your stuff that you want in these stores. So let's say Jimmy that works at Dillard's says, oh crap, this part's out here in the Amazon section. I know I can go down, I can talk to the guy that works at the warehouse right down there, and he's going to give me the boxes I need. I'll bring them back to my store and I'll put them in. And you cut down on that. I mean, but again, it drives people in there perhaps. And I mean, that's theoretic. I mean, that's not guaranteed. But again, the idea is to save your brick and mortar, which, I mean, put it this way. The first mall in the United States was actually here in Kansas City, Missouri. It's known as the Plaza, and it's an outdoor mall. It was always outdoor. It's designed like Seville, like what is that? Seville, Spain, I think. It's designed like the street in Seville. It's an outdoor mall, several different streets. You can walk around the whole thing, and that's what we're all going to now, is the outdoor mall again. They took outdoor malls and they put roofs on them and made them malls, and now it's going back. We're not losing brick and mortar per se.
It's just changing format again.
Exactly. And it's all a matter of flux and change that you have to work it out. And I just see Amazon being a steward in a way that says, hey, we don't want to have 1,000 giant just boxes in the middle of the cornfields with stock, because that still costs us money to drive everywhere and to get it to you and stuff like that. Well, while we're willing to do that, that's fine. But if you're willing to come and get it when it's 5 miles away, and when you order it online, it says, go pick up at such and such store right now, instead of it'll be there tomorrow, you might be willing to drive 15 minutes.
Oh yeah. But see this particular program or idea that you got is already been put into play because of the beer bug. You can order your groceries online and go pick them up.
Yeah. The thing is to design it in a way that says, listen, Amazon can do this very easily. Say, okay, well, if we bring you the product over here, yes, you get free shipping because you have Amazon Prime. You pay extra for Amazon Prime. Let's say the item you want is $19.98 right here, plus the $2, for tax. Now it's 21 something. We'll get it to you tomorrow. Or you can go to this store over here and we're going to give it to you for $18.50. All you got to do is drive there and you can get it right now. And at least what you're trying to say is, this is your Amazon Prime cost if you go pick it up, and you're only 5 minutes away from the store. Well, okay, $2. Yeah, okay, well, I'll save $2. You go in there, and then the rest is just human nature. Oh, yeah, I like that shirt. Oh, yeah, I need another Rick and Morty shirt. I need this. Oh my God, I need a total gym. I mean, it's just human nature. Most people are just designed that when they see something, impulse buying is what has, in a sense, been lost in this country when it comes to brick and mortar. It's still alive and well with infomercials and Amazon, because Amazon knows how to get you. that you buy that item, and what's the first thing it says after you buy that item? Let's say you buy a new mic. What's the first thing? Most people who buy this bought this, and this, and the next thing you know, instead of having a $50 cart, you now have a $300 cart.
Well, to a sense, though, Chris, they are actually still doing it in a lot of brick and mortar places, and the places you're going to see it the most often is going to be in places like Walgreens or your local grocery mart, where they still have the impulse buyer stuff right at the end of the aisles. Like
go there, but the
shitty magazines and the
so that's why everything's right there at the checkouts.
Yep.
That's all designed because it's just quick. It's quick. You're reading, you're in this long line. You pick up, the Chicago or the Sun. You pick up the Sun. You read about Johnny Depp, and you're halfway through the story. You're up here now. You're like, fuck it. Here, I'll just ring it up.
I'm gonna say I want to say hi to Nerd Cookies real quick. I appreciate you stopping by, Nerd Cookies. It's always good to see you. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah. But with brick and mortar like Dillard's and Macy's and stuff like that, they've lost a lot of that. It used to be, like during so there for a while it died out with everything. Anyways, it was very little time. People went to the mall during the weekends, but it was mostly teenagers who were being stupid and stuff like that. But when Christmas came, you all went out. Everybody went out. They had the carolers. They had all the decorations. You walked around the stores. They had the giant, displays that had the animatronic, all that crap. And that was an event.
Stuff up.
That was an event. They don't have that anymore because people aren't thinking like that. They're so now. What you have to do is find a way. And again, I think Amazon's one of the best options. Find a way to draw them back in there. You don't have to have all the fancy lights and all that. It's just, I'm just going in there real quick. I got to get this, going to go get it. Boom. 5 minutes. You're walking to that place all the way in the back. Next thing you know, oh, what's this? Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. I got to go. All right, fine.
Well, Chris, quite honestly, I think at some point it's going to come back around, just like it always does. Because if people think back on those times when they used to go into a mall and there would be some kind of event going on. Like I remember when I was a kid and Star Wars was still red hot, and they had people that were walking around in the mall dressed up like Darth Maul. Now, usually it was in like a particular store. Like I believe the one that I went to was in Sears, and they had a guy in a full Darth Vader costume. And you could sit there and get your picture with him, shake hands with him. He would sign an autograph as Darth Vader on anything you gave to him. And they did stuff like that back then. And that was the thing that actually would bring people into the malls. Yeah. And I think at some point we are going to go back to it. Because, I mean, just look at all the toys, with all the retro toys that we're getting and reissues of those classics that everybody enjoyed so much. I think at some point that the malls are going to wind up going back to that too. And they're going to use that extravagance to be able to bring people back in and get them excited to come to the malls again.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to say this now. I got to run. I'm sorry, JJ.
No, you're right.
So you bring up the Darth Maul thing, and I've said this too. I'm sorry, I'm a spin doctor type guy. I have 1,000 ideas running through my head for scripts, for ideas, for movies, for tons of stuff. The other thing I had thought about several years ago is, we got all these. There's a con of some sort every like 2 weeks here when things are normal, dude. Why doesn't one of these? Why don't these Comic-Con companies and all these people that put on these events decide, hey guys, why don't we go in and buy this mall, and then we could really deck this place out? Every 2 weeks, you just change the whole damn place out for that.
Malls by me that actually hold conventions.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these places have been redesigned as convention halls. Yep. And but that, I mean, right there. I mean, Mall of America is a good example. Mall of America has a ton of different things. They have a whole section that used to be, when it first opened, I was there the first day it opened. And if I remember right, the third floor was nothing but over 21 bars, restaurants, and clubs. Mm-hmm. And it was very slow during the day, but at night.
Did Mall of America have an amusement park?
It does still, yes, it does still. And but you see, that type of thing keeps people coming because there's all,
it's more than a mall.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the thing. And I mean, I agree with you, Tommy. It's going to come back around. Now, it's going to be different. You're not going to have nearly as many stores. That's the thing. These stores get all big and bad whenever they're like, oh, man, the money's rolling in. It's so great. It's so great. Let's make another one. Let's make another one. Let's make another one. Let's make another one. And the next thing you know, if the economy falls like it always does, and then everybody's scrambling to make like, oh my God, we got to do is sell that one. And then you got a bunch of these brick places. I don't know if you guys have it, but I think most of these places, whatever it's called, we have what we call Spirit Halloween here. It's a store, but they sell Halloween stuff, and they go and they rent out all these places that are done every year for 3 months out of the year, and they're making bank.
Yep.
And of course, the people they're renting these places for they're not going to charge them the full amount that place is worth. Why? Because they're just glad somebody's freaking in there.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's
they come around every year and they spend a few months. And then. And a lot of them are allowed to leave their crap in there because they're like, well, just put it in the back. And if we need to rent the place out, we'll let you know and you can come and get it. So, all right, guys, I do have to run. I just thought I'd jump on really quick and say hi. Chris, I appreciate you stopping by. And if somebody in the chat with a wrench could go ahead and throw Chris's channel in the chat for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Chris, go ahead and let them know what you're doing and where they can find you.
Well, the Real Review 3000 is where you can find me. Also, Chaos Central. We do 3 shows a week on Chaos Central. This week, we're taking off. Last week, I took off a lot of stuff. I actually still did like 5 streams last week, but whatever. This week on the Real Review 3000, we are doing DC week because of DC fandom this past week. And today we did our Wonder Woman 84 trailer reaction, kind of. I don't call them reactions. I don't like that. It's more of a review. I've seen all these already. I want to go over. I like seeing it again. Maybe pick up some new stuff. But today we talked about Wonder Woman 84, and I talked about the Steve Rogers or is it Steve? No, not Steve Rogers. Steve
Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor's, right?
I think so.
Yeah, whatever. Her boyfriend from the first one, Steve.
Yeah.
I talked about the problem that he causes. You have to make him worth the time he's in the movie. So I talked about, hey guys, maybe what he's going to be is the guy that's giving out all these dreams and say, hey, I can make anything come true for you. Maybe he was told by Cheetah, by Barbara, hey, this is something she really wants. He just does it. She thinks, oh my God, the guy I love is back. Everything's fine and dandy. And then near the end, the only thing I can see that really works with Steve is you make him turn against her. And it becomes an even bigger problem for her to have to deal with losing him again. So that's kind of what I talked about today. Tomorrow, I believe I'm going to do the trailer reaction for the Batman. Then we're going to go to the Zack Snyder Justice League trailer reaction. And then we're going to do the trailer reaction for the Suicide Squad, the Justice League, or Killed the Justice League, or whatever that one is. And then Batman Arkham Knights. Is it Arkham Knights or...
Arkham Knight.
Gotham Knight.
Gotham Knights. Thank you, that one. We're going to do the 2 trailer reactions for those. And then somewhere in there, we're going to put in Black Adam, the quick kind of reveal of that we got. And again, I kind of just give my thoughts about what's going on with it, what I think about it. So that's kind of what we're doing this week. We're going to have the weekly Rumble on Thursday. That is going to be with what I'm calling the young guns. We have a bunch of people that are 18 and under, 4 young men who are going to talk some cool things. I've seen the stuff they've already put in for the questions, and we might have some fun stuff happen on that. Actually, I know we will because I know what's going on. Nobody else does. That's kind of how that show works out. Yeah. And to anybody in the chat, if you guys want to, I'm always looking for new people for the weekly Rumble. Do me a favor and DM me on Twitter at ChrisKnight5150. Ask JJ. JJ knows how it works, and I think he has a good time with it. So,
yeah, I've been on there about 4 or 5 times already, and it's really just good, relaxing fun. To talk about stuff you know about, to try to talk about stuff you don't know about. It's just basically, in a nutshell, let's see how good of a bullshit artist you are.
It can come down to that, and currently, I think there's a tie between the best bullshit artists between JJ and Hanstar. They're both really good because I've called them both in within an hour of the show and be like, hey, you want to jump on? And they're like, yeah, sure. Can you send me the questions? Well, Han will ask for the questions. I think JJ's just like, fuck it, we'll do it live.
I've done it. Right before we start the show, I was like, fuck it, we'll do it live. Let's do this.
Yep. So, Thank you, Curtis. Curtis, I appreciate that. But also the big thing that I'm really trying to accomplish by the end of the year, I'm currently at 3,555 subs, trying to get up to 5,000 by the first of the year. So if you guys are not subbed, please go check it out. If you like what you see, please do sub and tell other people about me. That's kind of what I try to do. I'm trying to build up the pop culture stuff. Most of my views, most of my people that have subbed come from music reviews, which is fine. And Andy, I love music reviews, but I don't like just doing that. So I'm trying to really hit my pop culture stuff. And the more people who watch it, the more it lets me know I'm on the right track. And I take constructive criticism like you're just crazy, which is probably true.
Chris, real quick, I want to make sure I understood you correctly. No chaos list tomorrow night?
No chaos list. We took the week off. We're starting back up on Sunday and going back next time. Thank you, Chris. Okay. I appreciate it.
And also, lastly, before he goes, Chris can also be found on Honstar's channel every other Sunday for Name That Tune. He is the DJ, and he's pretty damn good at it.
You're not going to get extra points or make anything easier on yourself this next week.
I'm not trying to, man. I'm just telling the truth, man. You're good at what you do.
I like everything I do. The weekly rumble, I add to it. I change things up. I try to make it I try to change things to a hey, what's going on?
How's it going, Kashi Queen?
I try to make things change up and keep it interesting. And so with Honstar, one of the things I really like about Name That Tune is we keep adding and kind of moving things around, but it stays the central core of the whole thing. It stays the same, which is really fun. But we add new stuff here and there every season. So far, we've added a new thing. So I don't know. I love doing these things and constantly thinking of a new idea. Some of them really tank, some of them don't. So, you never know until you try.
What's going on, Mega Jetty?
And if I don't see you before then, I'll see you Sunday.
All right, man. Take it easy, guys. Okay.
Hey, thanks again for coming, Chris. You have a good one.
Have a good night, Chris.
I'll try to be on next week sometime. Okay.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Awesome. That was fun. Hey, Kazoy, how's it going? That was a very interesting topic right there, talking about the old brick and mortar and how they can actually bring them back by having Amazon step in. That would be very interesting.
Well, right now, the way things are now in the world, would be probably a key time. I know people are struggling everywhere, all walks of life. I know people are struggling, but bringing back brick and mortar stores, I think could be a good idea in some aspect because of people being cooped up at home. They're ready to get out. They're ready to do something.
You know what? Even if they bring them back just to an extent where they bring them back where they have drive-throughs, okay? Because it wouldn't take much to take a lot of these stores and just like put a drive-through window in. Number one, you're putting people back to work. Where they don't have to be around a whole bunch of customers. They could just be working in the store, and they could have a drive-through where people would be able to get out and go to the store. Maybe they can't go in the store and look at everything, but they would be able to see what they want, and they would place their order, go to the store and pick it up, so they don't have to wait for delivery. So it would give people another option to be able to get out of the house and be able to get back to work too. Not to mention the fact that it's also going to increase revenue sales taxes for the cities and the states where these brick and mortar companies are being put to use again instead of just being empty and derelict buildings. I mean, that would just make sense. And I just don't understand why more, companies aren't looking into this sort of thing. I mean, it's no brainer, really. Hey, Death by Saber, thank you for coming by, man. I really do truly appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And you know what? If I get done in enough time, I will try to stop by. I always like to see what K-Log is up to.
And Generation Productions, man. Have a good night, man. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us tonight.
Generation, you take care, buddy. Cred Sox, hey, thank you for coming by. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really do appreciate it.
Yep.
But when you talk about like those old brick and mortars, I mean, you know, that was one of the things from my childhood, you know, being able to take the time to go out to the malls. And even when it started off as just the strip malls, that was one thing. And that was a lot of fun to be able to go to different stores. But when the big malls really became a thing and you went there and they had, like I was saying earlier, when they had these events where they had people that were dressed up in costumes and they had something to draw crowds to them, that was a hell of a time. I mean, that was fun. You couldn't wait to go. And then like when they started bringing in the food courts, because when they initially had malls, they didn't have food courts. You had like the little mini stands in the middle of the stores or in the middle of the aisles, and that was basically all they had. And then later on, they started developing the food courts where they started having all these different like corporations come in to sell food. But
yep, not 3 blocks down the road, I got a empty shopping mall. It's Regency Square Mall. That's what it's called. When they put the food court in, back when I was a teenager, me and a friend of mine, we'd walk up and down, we'd do our laps up and down the mall, then we'd go to the food court. And it was 2 stories, so we get up on the upper level and just sat there with our drinks. Oh, look at her! Oh, look at her!
People watch.
Look at her! Yeah. We went. That's what we call shopping.
Mall rats.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
there's a couple malls around my area that are like pretty much dead, and they don't do anything with them anymore.
About 10 minutes away, we got one. I guess it's what you call the outdoor shopping malls. It's called St. John's Town Center, and you would not believe the empty spots in there, man. And it can continuously growing. Things are getting more and more empty, and man, we need to bring this back. You know, try to support our own.
There was a girl I was talking to, and she lived up in, I want to say like an hour away from me. So I drove up that way, and there's a mall up there, and that thing is like dead. Like it has an AMC theater in it and like maybe a few little stores here and there, but everything else is just empty. And it's like a ghost town. And it's kind of sad, you know.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, it's a little piece of Americana that's dying when all these stores wind up closing down.
Yeah.
Things will pick back up, you know. People can hold out. I think in a year or less things will turn around.
I even remember like back in the day going to certain malls because my dad used to collect baseball cards, and he'd have like card shows and stuff in malls, and you'd have like dealers, I guess you could say, with their different cards or whatever, like set up throughout the mall that you know you could buy whatever baseball card or like non-baseball stuff, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, it really is a shame that so many of them are just they've gone the wayside. I mean, one of the big things in the '80s too that actually drew people in is when they still had the arcades. And I remember, I want to say it was Mr. Miles asked about it earlier. I think it was Mr. Miles, and he asked about arcades still being a thing. And yeah, I remember that was a huge thing for all the malls. You know, I mean, the arcades were always filled with teenagers and kids. I mean, because the parents would want to go to the malls and they wanted maybe do shopping for themselves or whatever, so they could drop the kids off at the arcade. You knew where they were going to be and everything was going to be fine. So yeah, they went about doing their shopping when the kids didn't want to be dragged around to those different stores. And that's one of the things that they're kind of missing today. I mean, where's that place where you can drop the kid off to look around and feel safe because he's around a whole bunch of other kids for the most part? I mean, you can't do that today.
No. But yeah, I remember what you're talking about, Tommy. I spent a lot of time in Aladdin's Castle. That was the arcade of the shopping malls around here, and man, oh man, I guess that's why I love Dave and Buster so much, because it reminds me of that.
I've only been to one of those once. It was pretty fun though.
Oh yeah, I got one 15, 20 minutes away.
Nice.
And it's like, well, and this is even before, because I'm a smoker, and back then when I first started going to Dave and Buster's, I was still smoking cigarettes at that time. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, you want to talk about a guy in heaven? I get to go sit down, let's say like at a game, Daytona USA, the Star Wars trilogy arcade game that they had, or anything like that. Anything you can sit down and play, have an ashtray and a cold beer. Oh man! And you could sit there and play that game all day.
Yeah.
There was a light. You turn the light on, a waitress would come to you, bring you another drink. You know, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I was happier than a pig in slop.
That's usually where I am. Like, I know Drunk does the whole park hopping thing, but if I go to a park or something like that, you don't see me doing all the rides and stuff. I'm in the arcade, like doing all that stuff.
Oh man, you can't go to a park without at least doing a couple rides.
Yep.
Because that's something I was going to bring up. I become to be a big fan of Universal Studios, and me and my now ex-wife went quite a bit, and we've been through every inch of that park. All at the time, all the new stuff, all the old stuff, the gift shops after every ride. Oh my Lord, it was just breathtaking. I've spent a few grand at some of these parks buying some stuff, and I just love amusement parks. I always have, but I've only been to a few.
I live like 30 minutes from Hershey Park, so going there every now and then. I don't go often. I'm usually in the arcade. Like if I go with a group of friends, then they always like, you know, peer pressure me to go on roller coasters and stuff, and then I'll go on them. But other than that, give me like a couple bucks or $5 in quarters, and in the arcade, and I'm good.
Here, I got a couple for you, Angela Straven. You may or may not remember these. One of them is long gone, and it was called Magic Valley.
No, don't sound familiar.
It was up in that area of PA. It was a ways from Hershey Park, but it was up in that general area of Pennsylvania.
The other like an hour from me.
I was just going to mention Knoebels Campground.
I want to say it's like
an amusement park. Yeah,
never been to Knoebels.
Knoebels is actually very interesting because what they did is they took the old style concept of an amusement park. Instead of charging you a fee at the gate like all the other ones do, you are allowed to walk in for free. And then they work it almost like they would at a fair, where you just you could buy a wristband, or you could buy a big giant book of tickets, and then you go around to the rides that you want to go on. And
sort of like what Hershey Park used to do back in the day.
Yes.
And they got super corporate, and they charge you an arm and a leg for everything now.
There's another one that was called oh Jesus, what was it called? Dutch Wonderland.
Yep. That's like,
and they did the same thing, but they've recently changed their format too, and they're actually charging at the gate to get in.
Yep.
All right, Tommy, I want to share something real quick.
All right, no problem.
This is Universal Studios' sister park right next door to it. It's called Islands of Adventure. Just this alone, that's a waterfall coming out of his mouth.
Nice.
You know, so it's just stuff like that. That's why I love going to this place, because it wasn't Disney. It was, and we went every February, and I'm serious. We had express passes, to beat the regular lines. But even then, the longest I ever had to wait to get on anything was maybe 10 minutes.
Nice.
15 tops.
Yeah.
Like for some of the more popular stuff. February is a dead time of the year for Orlando, Florida. Well, it was anyway. Well, kind of still is now.
That's why I'd like to get a bunch of people that are in the PA area that are part of the community to go to like Hershey Park or something and just like chill for a day. Because usually, not with everything going on now, it's hard, but usually around this time they have like the discount tickets, and you can go for like a day for like dirt cheap, and it'd be cool to do that and then like live stream it or something or whatever.
Oh yeah.
There was a whole bunch of those amusement parks up in the area. I mean, we just mentioned a few, but then they also had some of the smaller ones. Like, what was the one? Was it Storybook Land or Land of Make Believe? Land of Make Believe, I think maybe. They had that one up there by Jenny Jump in PA. Then they what else? What other music parks were in the area? Dorney Park, and then over there in Jersey you had Six Flags Great Adventure.
Yeah, Six Flags is close, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to a Six Flags.
Yeah. The Six Flags, I think it was the one in Jersey, or it was either the one in Jersey or Maryland, but they had the Batwing.
And the one in Jersey is Six Flags, and they did have that Batman ride.
Yeah, Batwing is freaking awesome. So you're locked into it. It's like one of the ones where your legs like dangle or whatever. Mm-hmm. But instead of being upright, it lays you on your back, and then you go up the first like thing, looking out over the park, and then it just goes like that, and you're like this, like sort of like Superman, but because you're like Batwing, Are
you kidding me? I would love to ride something like that.
It's so awesome. I'm not a big roller coaster fan, and they scare me to death. But after the first one, I was like, dude, I'm doing that again.
Yeah, Universal had a roller coaster. It wasn't nothing near that extravagant, but you get in, and each seat had speakers by your head.
Okay.
And in front of you, when you lock down, in front of you had this touch screen. You can pick like from 4 or 5 different types of music, and in these types of music, you could pick certain songs that they had. The first time I ever rode it, I was jamming to some Evanescence riding a roller coaster.
I remember Evanescence.
It was man, I'm gonna tell you what, I would give anything to be able to ride that thing right now, man. It was so awesome.
I don't know. I personally like some of the older roller coasters and everything. There's something about them old wooden roller coasters, especially the ones that were like brought over from different places. Like the one that they actually had in that Knoebels area was actually originally from well, God, what's that park over there in New York? Coney Island.
Okay.
And that old wooden roller coaster they brought from Coney Island, and they brought it up to Knoebels, and they set it back up, man. It's got all the creaks, it's got all the the squeaks and everything else that you would expect from an old wooden roller coaster. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just, there's something like it's something different about those. I mean, they don't have the safety rails on those things either. So if you're not paying attention, you could easily fly out of that damn thing when it starts hitting the bunny hops, because the bunny hops on that thing are legit. If you're not holding on, you might come out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Screw a wooden roller coaster. I got to be strapped in. Sorry.
Hey, Toxic Man Flo. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Going that fast on some rails, you better strap my ass in, because if this thing comes off, I may die, but at least I was strapped in, damn it.
I always enjoyed the bumper cars. That was like one of my favorite things.
Oh, man. I got a man.
Too, right?
Yeah. I've gotten a mini neck aches from a bumper car.
I don't do bumper cars like the normal person where they try to hit people. I do it where I try to avoid everybody. So like
I've done that. I just ride around,
and I try to just avoid it and not get hit the whole time.
Yeah. I've done that a couple times. Just ride around, and someone comes aiming for you. It's like, okay, all right, and then right before they get you, get out of the way.
Yep.
He's like, aha, you missed me, bitch.
Now, see, it's good if you're going to do that if you're setting them up to hit somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. The old log flumes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dutch Wonderland has one of those.
You know what? Six Flags Great Adventure still had one, too.
And then, I don't think Hershey Park doesn't have. They used to have Whitewater Rapids at Hershey Park, and they got rid of that, and part of that is where the water park is now, I believe. But that was awesome too, because like you'd have like the big circle, and then you'd have like 5 or like, I don't know, maybe 10 people on there, and then you'd get strapped in, and then you'd run through all this water and stuff. But
yeah, they had something like that in Busch Gardens.
Shoot at you too while you're
Yeah, I was just going to say that they had one in Busch Gardens where they had the little coin operated machines where you could run over there and like, because me and my buddy went the one time and we loaded a bunch of the machines up, and as the people were coming around on that big giant like raft looking like a float, we hit the one, he would get the next one, I'd be running down to the next one to get him again. So everybody's like, oh, I didn't get wet, and then all of a sudden splash.
I had something like that at Busch Gardens. That was freaking hilarious. because, well, until I got hit in the face.
There's one like that at Six Flags, but it's like Penguin's like warehouse or something, and you're on like one of those raft things, and you go down the thing, and you can get wet and all that stuff. Because Six Flags is, I guess, WB, so they have a lot of the DC characters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I used to ride those water rides, and I tried to be logical about it. Okay, when we start to board the vehicle or whatever you want to call it, the raft, I always tried to find the driest seat to sit in. Mm-hmm. But come to find out, my dumb ass didn't realize them things did rotate, so you didn't always stay dry.
Yeah. And the ones with the circle things, at least the one at Hershey Park, in the center there was like not a tube. Well, yeah, there's like a post, and then you had like a circular thing on top of it, and you could put all your like stuff you didn't want to get wet in there, and then you could close it up.
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's pretty cool.
Toxic Man Flu says, I was on one ride at Six Flags over Texas called the bobsled. 16 people straddling a bench with no safety restraints. I was in the back, and at the first turn, I was like a chiropractor cracking my back. It was
damn.
No, we don't need to be concerned about safety. I know, right?
Yeah, man. I used to ride in the back of a pickup and drink out of a water hose and all that, and climb trees, and I'm alive. Damn.
That's one of the reasons why I won't do coasters that are cart coasters that go upside down unless it has an over the shoulder thing, because I'm too afraid of like something happening. So,
most of them do. I mean, most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the old one that they had at Busch Gardens in Virginia called the Loch Ness Monster. I mean, that one goes back all the way to, God, man, that was like at least the early 80s, if not maybe even the 70s. I mean, that ride has been there forever. I don't think they've taken it down yet. But yeah, that thing that had over the shoulder straps, and I think it also had a belt buckle on the bottom of the shoulder harness.
I know. What was it? Wildwood had the sea serpent, and that was like a sidewinder or whatever. It would go forward the one way, and then they would do it in reverse as well, and it would go around, do a loop or whatever.
There used to be a roller coaster set up in Islands of Adventure, in the Harry Potter land. It was called Dueling Dragons.
Okay.
And what it was two different coasters intertwined with one another.
Oh wow!
You decided
something like that at Hershey Park.
You decided which one you wanted to ride on, the red dragon or the green dragon, and they would intertwine with one another, and that weirded me out, man.
It's called Lightning Racer at Hershey Park, and you have like two different colors, and they have different names. I forget what they're called, but yeah, when you're going through, you like pass one of the teams, and you can like, at each other, try to.
When you ride the rectal coffee flume at Walton's Wonderworld, be sure to bring a change of clothes.
Awesome, man. Toxic Man Flu. Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hashtag butt chug.
There's
suddenly, and everything exits your body at the end.
Yeah, there's no escape for you, Walton.
I love coffee, but I'll never drink that shit. Yeah, but also, it was simple, but I loved it. Also, at Epcot, they got something called the test track. Mm-hmm. You go in and you design your vehicle. You and a group of people design the vehicle. And it takes you through basically what cars. The original concept was, before they changed it, you get in and you go through the beginning of it, and it actually takes you through what they put vehicles through when they're testing them. Mm-hmm. Bumps, heat, cold, maneuverability. But then when you exit that, you're on a big ass half oval test track.
Okay.
And you can get up to 65, 70 miles an hour. It's a real rush. I enjoy it. That's something I'd ride over and over again. just to be able to keep going around the half a track.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Curtis,
I would love to go to Universal or Disneyland or whatever.
Oh, God, I was going to ask you, do you guys remember the old like, it was basically like a gas-powered car, and it looked like something from like the 1940s or something?
Oh, I remember those.
It looked like the old Model A cars or whatever, and it had like a metal track that you used to follow, and you used to just get in it, and it, like when they first came out with those, you could actually steer the car a little bit, and the track would prevent you from going off course, but you were able to steer it, and eventually they changed a lot of them to where you didn't even have no control over the steering at all.
It's either Dutch Wonderland or Hershey Park has one of those still.
I know Dutch Wonderland used to have one.
Okay, then that's probably what I'm thinking then.
Knoebels had one too, but they took the steering element out of it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, they got a go-kart track at Disney, but I can't remember if the cars are on tracks or not. But they're really slow. They're idled down really low, but still, it's just like going and racing go-karts somewhere.
Because Dutch Wonderland is more kid-oriented. It's more like focused for kids. They have less like stuff for adults as far as rides go.
I'm trying to remember. Dutch Wonderland had a section back there, which I'm sure like the crowds right now would probably get upset about. But they had a section back there where there were like teepees. And I'm trying to remember his name. He was the chief Halftown. Used to go back there, and Chief Halftown used to meet with people, and he used to sign autographs and everything like that. Because I forget what show Chief Halftown used to be on, but he had a little show that he was on.
Okay.
And I forget what tribe he was from too. I'm terrible at remembering that because it was so many years ago. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure now they would probably say it's like cultural appropriation by doing that to him or something, you know. But I mean, it was fun.
Thing. Yeah.
It was just fun for kids to be able to meet somebody like that, to meet somebody who was actually a real chief, you know.
Yeah. It's educational, and teaches them about the culture and all that stuff.
Like one of the places I used to like when I was a kid, it was called Wild West City in Netcong, New Jersey. Okay. And basically it was done up like an old like Western city town, and they used to do like plays and everything like that. I mean, it was really cool. Let me see if I can find some pictures of it. Here we go.
Wildwood, before the big storm in Wildwood, they used to have a lot of cool stuff. What was it? They had the Golden Nugget, which was like this like old like mining cart like ride. It was sort of like a roller coaster, but not really. But you would go through it, and there'd be a bunch of like scary stuff happening because it's like an abandoned mining cart thing. And at the end, you'd have this big drop thing, but it got completely destroyed when they had the one hurricane or whatever years ago. And then they had Dracula's Castle too there, and you could either go through it on like a little boat ride, or you could actually walk through it. And it was like a scary.
That sound like a ride that Universal used to have. I believe it was in the California park, because I don't ever remember it ever being here in Florida. But it was an Indiana Jones ride that was like that with a mine cart.
That's cool.
But it was kind of like Big Thunder Mountain.
Okay.
If you know about that, I don't know who don't, but there are not so big Disney fans out there.
Yeah, Wildwood. I have lots of memories of going there as a kid, every year. And
I used to love
go-karts under the boardwalk too there, which was awesome.
I was a big Busch Gardens fan when I was younger.
And then I don't know if you guys remember, I never got to do them, but I always wanted to. They had like the sub that was like in the water, and then you had like people that could like shoot at the sub, and then the sub could like shoot back at them and stuff. I always wanted to do that. I never got a chance to. But I always thought that was neat.
Big Thunder Mountain. Is Rosie O'Donnell still around?
Yeah, whatever happened to her.
I don't know. I guess her toxicity, she just kind of went silent, just like Roseanne did.
So wasn't she on The View? Well, Roseanne was on the Candace Owens show like not too long ago.
Couldn't prove it by me. I don't really watch that stuff. It's just, you know, as far as those people go, Roseanne, Rosie O'Donnell, you know, people like that. You don't see too much of them hardly anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
People got sick of them. They got sick of putting up with their nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, I like the show without her on it anyway. She was never my favorite.
You talk about the Connors?
Yeah. The Connors. I think it's better without Roseanne because my favorite character was always Dan anyway. So, like, just focusing more on him, it's a win-win. And I always like John Goodman.
Yeah, I always like Sarah Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's gay and all, but who cares? I still think, you know, Darlene, man. I was like, that's the only reason why I watched Roseanne was because of Darlene.
Mm-hmm. It sucks that he used to be on Angel. He played Doyle. It sucks that he actually passed away in real life. Because it would have been cool to see him back. You mean
Darlene's boyfriend?
Not Darlene's boyfriend, because he's from Big Bang Theory, but Becky's husband.
Yeah, you want to hear what's a shame? I don't know if you guys remember, or rather, if you had seen the Star Trek. What was it? Star Trek Continues or Star Trek Extended or something like that, where they picked up on
the Vic Mignogna series.
Yes, where they had Grant and Mahara in there, and
that was
Grant and Mahara played a hell of a role in that one too. And I mean, Vic, he started off like, all right, but as the series is going on, he's definitely improved. His acting had improved, and I mean, it's a damn shame that you never see some of those same people being able to do that again.
Yeah, that was Star Trek Continues. It was supposed to be
I mainly know Vic from anime because of doing all the voice acting and stuff.
Yeah,
it was Alchemist and stuff like that.
It was supposed to be the TOS 4th season.
Okay.
Yes, it was really well done too.
And I was never a big Star Trek guy, so
I like it. I like it all.
I like most of them. I mean, I don't think there was too many sci-fi shows that I really hated. Yeah. There was a few that maybe I didn't like quite as much as others. Like, Doctor Who was my one that was always on the bottom of my list. It just wasn't something that I grew up with as a kid because we didn't have a lot of, when I was, I mean, I'm sure we didn't have like BBC and all that stuff when we were kids. So we didn't see a lot of that.
Yeah, the only way you really saw that is if like you got lucky and there was like a VHS tape or something, or somebody you knew had something from over there.
Yeah, like I mean, I remember all the other stuff, like Knight Riders, Airwolf.
Oh yeah, I actually got the whole set of Airwolf for my dad for Christmas one year.
Nice.
I remember him used to watch that because it was, I want to say it was that A-Team, Fall Guy, and Knight Rider, like after school. Like,
wow.
My dad would watch together.
I remember the Fall Guy. That was pretty good.
Fall Guy was good.
The $6 Million Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bionic Woman.
I think.
Hey, how about that old Spider-Man that they had?
You talking about live action?
Yes. The old one where he had the big silver cuffs on his wrists.
Yep. And the big ass goggle eyeballs.
Yes.
Jack
it was
Black,
so
actually,
cheesy.
Like that was one.
What was that, Angela?
Jack Black. One of his first roles was on Fall Guy, like back when he was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because I want to say it was on Hulu there for a while. Fall Guy, like the whole series. And he was in an episode and I'm like, holy shit. Like he's like super young.
Yeah, it's amazing when you go back and you look at some of these actors that actually started off in minor, tiny little roles that most people just don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
All right, look at Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th, the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mentioned this TV station I watch many times. It's called H&I, or Heroes and Icons, and they play blocks Monday through Friday of some good older shows.
Yeah.
Mondays is Nash Bridges.
Okay.
Tuesday is House. Wednesday is Jag. Thursday is Monk. And Friday is a show called Numbers. Okay. And during the commercials for these shows, for like, all right, you like this? Well, tomorrow is this or whatever. They say, check out some of the stars or the guest appearances in some of these shows.
Oh, cool.
They would point out big people. They showed a couple times Stone Cold Steve Austin and Snoop Dogg. I couldn't tell you what shows it was on, but oh, wait a minute. Stone Cold was on Nash Bridges, but still, it's like, damn, you watch these shows like, I know this person. Man. Damn, look at this. They were in here. It's just, you'd be surprised. Mm-hmm. No different than, say, Firestarter, man, a very young Drew Barrymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And she was in E.T.
Yep. That's like, what does I say?
And wasn't she in Poltergeist too?
No, that wasn't her.
No? Oh. No. I always think that she was in that one too for some dumb reason.
You talking about the little blonde girl?
Yeah.
No, that little blonde either towards the end of filming part 2 or right before they started part 3, she got real ill and passed away.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of people that died after filming that one.
Yeah, she got sick. She got, I don't know what it was that got wrong with her, but she passed away when she was like 11 or 12.
Well, they said that movie was cursed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
That's not the only one. Twilight Zone, the movie.
Stephen Walton got started in Orange is the New Black, I think. Why? Because it was a shitty show?
I didn't mind it at first, and then in like the last 2 seasons were pretty bad.
So what else is on your brain, Tommy?
I don't know. I'm about done myself. I was thinking about starting to wrap it up soon.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a bit burned out.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I came in here with nothing. I didn't know what the hell I was gonna talk about, but then when you started on the music kick, I was like, all right, I'm cool.
Well, I mean, I wanted to just drop something new, and I thought that was something that was untouched ground, as far as what we've been doing so far, and I thought it would work. I thought it'd be great, and it, I mean, there was a lot of interaction for that one, so I think we had a good time. I know I did.
Yeah, and we expanded, who'd have thought, into amusement parks.
Mm-hmm. And retail.
Yeah.
No, that was really, I really did like that topic that Chris brought up about that. I mean, that's, bringing back the old brick and mortar, like how we used to know them. I mean, I think in the way the economy is going right now, that's going to be something that's really going to be needed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, ordering online is one thing, but if you don't have the people that are there to actually work the stores and you're not greeted by people and there's no interaction, then, I mean, is it really, fun to go shopping then? I mean, it's going to be just like what we have to get is what we have to get. And it's not going to be, go out to go look for something and get excited to go out to the store to see people or whatever, I mean, that's going to be lost.
Yeah.
But Angela Straven, why don't you go ahead and you can start and let everybody know what you're going to be doing and where they can find you.
All right. I'm Angela Straven. You can find me here on YouTube or Twitter. Right now I have a teaser trailer on my channel of something that is coming. something or someone is coming, and I'll be dropping another teaser probably within a week or two coming up of more to come with that. So just stay tuned. And then on Thursdays, I have the Gaming Lounge. This week, it's going to be on my channel with Culture Kai and Mando Merc and a few others. So that is at 5 p.m. Eastern. So go over there and give it a look. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked him out, make sure you do so. His link will wind up going into the chat shortly, if I can ever find it or somebody else can find it. But Sith Lord JJ, go ahead and let him know about yourself and where you're going to be this week.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You can find me in a couple places. For one, you can find me right here on Mondays with Tommy. We have some interesting discussions. I'm glad to see everybody in the chat. Thank you all for coming out. You can also find me on, Chris said we're taking the week off, but you can find me Tuesday nights on the Chaos List with Chris Knight, Danny Graham, and Anzo from Big Afford Entertainment, talking some topics there for about an hour or so at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And you can find me on my own channel. I do my own weekly live stream. It's called Randomness at its Finest. Random panel, random topics. Since there ain't going to be no Chaos List tomorrow night, I'm thinking about doing it tomorrow night. If so, I'll tweet it out. Y'all come hang out for a little bit. Have some discussions with us. And you can also find me right here on Twitter at SithLord3827. Sometimes I tweet. Sometimes I retweet. Sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Come check it out. And as always, Tommy, man, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, I am always happy to have you on, man. You're awesome. Thank you, Curtis.
Yeah,
Curtis, man. Curtis is awesome. Thanks for helping me out, Curtis. I mean, I'd like to also thank Ancient One who was here earlier, who was helping out. I truly do appreciate it. I mean, you guys, you stop through and you listen to us babble about some stuff and have some fun. And I mean, hopefully you guys are having fun too when you're showing up for these, because, you know, without you guys, it's not the same, quite honestly. And I can't thank all of you enough for coming out. And Curtis, you know, I know you don't like to give yourself some props, but I'm going to give you some props. And if you guys haven't, make sure you stop by Curtis YZ's channel and check out some of his reviews and his other talks. He's a really fun guy to know and to be able to talk to. And, you know, hopefully, I mean, maybe you're going to stop on here one of these times, Curtis. I'm going to keep throwing it out there, and I'm going to hope that you wind up taking the bait one of these times. But I want to thank everybody that's been out here, and thank you so much once again. And remember, guys, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or shouldn't do, what you can or can't watch, because your silence gives consent.
And Tommy, if you don't mind, I would like to add on to that. And also, ladies and gentlemen, please don't let their vision leave you blind. You know, pay attention to what's going on. Make them suffer. Punish them with your wallet or pocketbook. Don't give in.
Absolutely. And anyway, guys, we will catch you next time. Later, y'all.
Take care.
Have a good night.